It's 7 o'clock in the evening. Good evening po. It's Wednesday. It's when we always do our autocar Kalye-Tok, where we start to talk about, where we always talk about things about the road and about cars and about transportation and what we usually do about it or how we go about it. I cannot read without my glasses. Okay. I have a few friends right now. We were supposed to talk about traffic and post Mia's thingies, but yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll wait for Alvin Uy, who usually helps us out with the Mias. But right now, we have with us, hey guy, you there? What are you doing? Anjo's here, right there. And then Mr. Attorney Robby Consunji is with us. We'd rather talk about traffic for a while.
Yeah.
I've been wanting
Good
to talk
evening.
about traffic because it's been
Good
terrible
evening.
the past 2 days. Evening, Attorney Robby.
Good
Magandang gabi po
evening,
sa iyo.
everybody. Hi, guys.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello. Good
I've
evening.
been wondering. I saw your interview, Attorney Robby. I forgot what channel that was, but it was quite insightful. And I was wondering, um, considering all of that's been happening regarding transportation in the country today, what's your take? What is happening with our traffic situation right now? Especially in metropolitan hubs like Metro Manila, Davao, Metro.
We've found the calamity, and we're still looking for the cure.
It's a
There-
calamity. Yeah, yes,
There's
yes.
no
Yes,
single.
attorney.
There's no single cure. We all want that single cure,
Mm.
and yet we're not willing to take it upon ourselves to do our contribution to reduce the traffic.
I was
I
I
I
was
I like the news this afternoon where MMDA says they're going to shift government hours.
okay. That's good news.
Yes,
Shift
that is
government
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Oh, oh. What? Earlier or later in the day ang start
I
nila?
believe it is 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
for
Okay, that should help. Uh, Problem is that's the hours most of the workers are traveling to work. And yan
Yeah,
yung oras ng ano eh. Yan yung oras ng janitor, ng sales lady, ng 'di ba?
so it's having to change our habits in terms of the clock for the day,
Mm.
and
Mm.
so that we can change the traffic load on the traffic volume on the road.
Mm. Mm.
But if we're just going to think there's just one solution and we're just going to get the magic wand and we'll just say, it'll go away. No, it's never going to happen that way. And everybody has the big book of solutions, whether it's mobility and mass transport and the bicycle lane and all of that. No? I mean, we've heard all of that, and yet, uh, who is going to put it together and orchestrate it? And will there be a give and take?
Oo. Oo. I was
I sat down in the meeting of the e-trike, and everybody was resisting the presence of the e-trike because the transport groups obviously have lost a share in the public transport.
oh. I've always I don't know, attorney. Let me just say this. But we keep forgetting a few things like when we're trying to address the traffic, especially in Metro Manila. Ina-address natin yung traffic sa Metro Manila. Nakakalimutan natin yung mga factors like geography. Number one, yung Metro Manila, yung lugar, yung lokasyon ng Metro Manila, siya yung leeg, siya yung bottleneck nung Luzon, nung Northern Luzon, at saka Southern Luzon. Yung laki-laki ng Northern Luzon, laki-laki ng Southern Luzon, tapos sa gitna niya, may maliit na bottleneck. Tapos, yun yung Metro Manila. Tapos, ang nag-iisa ko, ang natatangi, the only major arteries that can connect both Northern Luzon, NLEX, and Southern Luzon, SLEX, is will either be EDSA or C5. Nakikita mo naman yung laki nung landmass doon sa ibabaw tsaka sa ilalim ng Metro Manila. And yet, hindi natin sinasali ito sa consideration when we're trying to fix traffic in a metropolitan hub like Metro Manila. What do you think, Attorney?
That's been an established choke point, no? And the formula there was to increase the number of bridges north-south across the Pasig River, no?
Mm-mm.
So whether you have C6, C5, and that's why you have circumferential roads, no? From C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no? And yet the other feeder bridges are not yet in place. They're long-term solutions. When you get started now, not too late. It's never too late. But
Mhm.
at the same time, when you look at how realistic is it to expropriate land in this country, it takes years. It can take 30 years. So there goes your plan to do your alignment and road network. The logic
Oo.
of the road alignment is gone.
Oo. 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 Also, another thing, you were to kanina maganda nga yung balita ng gobyerno. They were saying we will adjust road government hours so that makatulong kami dun sa dami ng mga sasakyan na pumapatong sa lansangan. Another one of my arguments was, has there ever been a study made trying to figure out ilang kotse ang nakatira sa Metro Manila, ilang kotse ang nanggagaling sa labas ng Metro Manila, pumapasok sa loob ng Metro Manila. Saan nanggagaling itong mga kotseng ito pag sa labas ng Metro Manila? Saan pumupunta sa loob ng Metro Manila? Ilang public transportation ang ganun din? Ilang tao ang ganun din? Saang lugar nanggagaling yung mga yan? Saan nagpupunta yan? Anong oras umaalis yan doon sa mga lugar kung saan sila nanggagaling? Anong oras sila dumadating dito sa mga lugar na pinupuntahan nila? Because if we're going to plan, if we're going to have a successful traffic plan, we need to know the movement of the people so we can properly allot manpower, infrastructure, and things like those. Have you ever seen anything at the least a modicum of effort towards this direction?
There are a lot of plans, no doubt there are a lot of plans. There have been lots of plans to support the basic LRT. There have been plans to support the tunnel system, the railway system, no? And it's not gone down to a nitty-gritty where we have a give and take in this society, because when the landowner says, I'm not going to let you buy the land, then there goes your expropriation. When the transport group says, I'm not giving up a share of the load of traffic volume, there goes your planning process. When somebody says, I want the e-trike and the e-bike to carry beyond minor roads, then there is a problem. And at the end of the day, we can't even identify who is the licensed driver and who is the registered car.
Ako.
We've gone up and down everything, and we're tolerating it. It's like the Pinoy tolerance is so high. He does not mind 3 hours to cut across Manila. He's happy.
3
When he should
hours?
not be. He should
Oo.
not be.
Oo.
We wanted discipline, but we did not want NCAP. Oh, that's a sore point. Di ba?
May magagalit sa atin yan.
Oh, di ba? That's taboo. That's taboo. But let's talk about NCAP version 2.0.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
will there be an NCAP 2.0? Forget 2.1. Forget 1.0. Let's go to 2.0. What is it that you want to see in the NCAP? Will it work? I don't know. But by the way, your licenses are all messed up anyway.
Well, that's true. You don't even have a license. A
Oh.
plastic license for that matter. So, diba?
But our tolerance as a Filipino, as a country, our tolerance for traffic has been very, very high. We've tolerated slow speeds, we've tolerated gridlock, we've tolerated slowdown for many years. We've tolerated the emergency procedure of Unified Vehicle Reduction Program, otherwise known as coding, which was an emergency measure for a short interim. It's been 20 plus years.
With 28 years, I
Oh, di
remember
ba?
that
Di ba?
was supposed to be a temporary solution to a problem
Correct.
at that point in time. But
Correct. But
now it's the all-encompassing solution for almost all traffic problems. Let's just pick a
oh,
number and make it bawal to use the road.
why don't we impose a congestion charge so that everybody entering Metro Manila will pay a congestion charge? Tabu
As
na
bad
naman yun.
as sa NCAP yan, attorney. That's as bad as NCAP.
Oh, di
Uh,
ba? But our tolerance kasi for the traffic is so high that we don't mind. At the same time, our tolerance for any concession is so low that we will not concede anything with everybody else. I will not even concede for your car to drive up ahead of my car when I meet you on EDSA.
I will
There's
not
no
even
give and take, and there's no give and take anymore. I think that's what's plaguing the society.
that's the problem with traffic. There's no give and take. Ayaw ko nga
Yeah,
magpa-overtake eh. 'Di
yeah.
ba? Ayaw ko nga magpasingit sa harapan ko dahil lilipat ka ng lane dahil kakanan ka eh. 'Di ba? So that's
Attorney
That,
Rob.
that hey, guy.
Yes, hi. Sorry. I just want to add to what you said earlier, no? With the NCAP 2.0, ako tingin ko lang, no, before they proceed with that. Siguro isa pang pwedeng ayusin yung practice of open deeds of sale. 'Di ba?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Kasi
that's
it's a very
downstream.
yes, sobrang hassle eh. Yung ibang binentahan mo, let's say they're also into buy and sell cars. So hindi talaga nila ililipat yun kahit na isang taon na. And then when they get apprehended, it's still the original owner, di ba? Na
Yeah,
mapipinalize or pinadadala ng sulat.
correct. We've tolerated these practices of open deed of sale, of non-appearance, all the
At least
taboo that you're not supposed.
sana may limit man lang, di ba? Say 30 days, 60 days. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung tama. Pero sana may ganon, di ba?
I believe the limit is 30 days of notaryo naka-open eh. After that, may penalty eh. No.
Yeah, but
But
I heard people
we've,
telling me na ang notarized deed of sale wala daw expiration sa
uh,
kotse, di ba? Which is wrong.
yeah, we've tolerated too much variance in our system. And now that it's hitting us as a calamity, costing us billions per day, are we going to move people to agree to give up certain rights so that for the general order of traffic and movement again in the city? So if you go, yeah, kasalanan, hindi kasalanan ng traffic yan, kasalanan ng zoning yan. And then, can of worms na naman tayo. And yet, for the past, throughout pandemic has proven that we can all stay home pala.
oo nga. Pwede naman pala sa bahay na lang. Bakit ba
Oh,
nakikipag-away tayo sa kalye? Di ba?
oh.
but really, this is going to be a little bit over the top, no? Medyo sabi nga nung huling kausap ko, nakakaasar ka naman magsalita eh. 'Di ba? Pero one of my older mentors was saying, alam mo anak, para umayos ang trapiko sa bansa natin, dapat may dalawang henerasyon ng driver ang mamatay. Kasi yung dalawang henerasyon na yun yung dalawang henerasyon na talagang mali eh. Mali magmaneho, ayaw matuto, matigas ang ulo, at itinuturo pa yung maling alam nila dun sa susunod na henerasyon.
Tama yan. It takes a generation of change. Really.
Di ba? I think we should consider canceling the licenses of these two earlier generations, 'di ba? Take
Wag
away their
ganun. Wag ganun. Baka
right.
kasama si ano doon.
Yun na. Actually baka kasama ako doon, eh, 'di ba?
By
So,
age bracket ba yan?
pag in-age bracket yan baka kasama kaming dalawa ni Atty. Consunji diyan, eh, 'di ba?
Talaga.
'Di ba?
Talaga.
But no, let's be practical about it. I was reading the press release. I was reading a press release by the Department of Transportation. It just came out today. What time did they come out with it? 11 o'clock in the morning. Ang title ng press release, Big Ticket Transport Projects to Help Ease Metro Traffic, according to Secretary Bautista. Generally, what the press release is saying is that they now have big ticket public transportation projects in the pipeline on a long-term basis to urge people to take public transportation instead of using their cars when traveling around in and around Metro Manila. This is for me, this is laudable. Natutuwa ako dito. Yes, this is correct. This is the correct step. Except nothing, nowhere in the press statement is there any word about how to educate the Filipino people in using public transportation. Our kababayans don't know how to use public transportation, eh. Ang public transportation para sa kanila is an extension of their personal transportation. Correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Consunji, pero ang Pilipino, paglabas ng bahay, ang unang-unang hahanap, hindi maglalakad papunta doon sa
Tama yan.
pinakamalapit na hintayan ng sasakyan. Tatawag ng
Tama
tricycle.
Tama yan.
Pag,
I mean, the big ticket infrastructure projects are laudable. I agree with you. We need the mass transport systems in place. As I said, there's no single cure. No, it's part of the cure. It's very much long term. But there has to be also some behavior change within the Pinoy that says, kaysa sa dito lang sa bus stop dito sa kanto ako sasakay at pababa, doon na ako sa bus stop na 300 meters away maglalakad. And that seems to be the main problem in terms of the man on the ground orderliness and cooperation effort. They will stop where they will want to be picked up and dropped off wherever they want. And that has been a issue for many years. I think it's more cultural than anything kasi ang sa ibang probinsya na alam ko pag naglalakad ka parang wow, kawawa naman si Robby naglakad.
Naglakad.
Hindi niya kaya mag-tricycle.
Wala siya 5 piso pambayad sa tricycle, kawawa
At
naman.
saka pawis na siya. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And yet, culturally, we look down upon the guy who's walking.
Yun nga
yes
yung
or no?
natin. We don't even have, I mean, ang reklamo sa akin, mainit. Ira, mainit eh. Ang init maglakad sa Pilipinas. Pero bakit pag nasa Singapore ka, tsaka bakit pag nasa Thailand ka, tsaka Indonesia ka, ganun din kainit? Ba't naglalakad ka doon?
In Singapore and Thailand, they can all afford deodorants. Yun ang diferensya.
Hindi nga eh. Alam mo naman yun. Hindi nga eh.
Paypay naman eh. Pwede mong magpaypay eh. Oh. But also because that's the reason why the quality of the sidewalk is very poor. It's not a priority eh.
Di ba? Palang infrastructure, yes. Wala tayong sidewalk. Totoo lang.
So mine is then when you preach road safety to the Pinoy, ang kalaban ko sa pagsasalita tungkol sa road safety, ang kalaban doon sa kabila, bahala na. Kasi pag sinabi mo kailangan safe tayo, ang sagot sa hindi mangyayari sa akin 'yun. Hindi ko kailangan 'yun. Lahat ng tungkol sa safety, alam nyo, bahala na.
Oo. Oo. Totoo yun.
Which is inherently Pinoy. So to teach contingency planning and regulatory systems and mitigation is totally not culturally adjusted.
Alam mo, isa yun sa mga na-encounter ng, well, nung araw yung seatbelt law, tapos yung child safety law, di ba? And that anti-distracted driving law. Ang palaging argument nung lumalabas kami para mag-educate tungkol sa bakit kailangan ito. Laging sagot hindi naman ako ma-aksidente. Ba't pinipilit nyo sa akin yan? Hindi naman ma-aksidente yung anak ko eh. Safe naman yung anak kong nakaupo sa likod eh. Bakit kailangan ko ng child seat para sa anak ko? Until the day inararo yung kotse niya ng truck at naputol yung isang paa ng anak niya, tsaka niya sasabihin, bakit kasi hindi niyo ipinilit sa akin yung child safety law, yung child seat? Alam mo yun?
Correct.
Doon pumupunta yung kultura natin eh. Hindi ka susunod.
And yet we have many laws which are dead. You can ask me to start counting how many laws we have which are been passed. They're stillborn, they're not implemented, hindi ma-regulate, and yet they look conceptually nice.
Wala. Andun lang. Law, batas lang sa kunyari. Di ba? Batas lang kunyari. Di ba? Ano lang kunyari. Compliance ng kunyari. Even our lawmakers, gusto ko sisihin yan eh. Tama yung sinabi mo, attorney eh. Wala naman kayo ginagawa. Hindi. Dami namin batas na pinasa eh. Hindi nga, asan? Ililista sa'yo. O, paano yung implementation? Asan yung implementation? Asan yung budget? Tayo lang yata ang bansa na nagpapasa ng batas na walang budget para sa likod ng batas na yun eh. Diba?
So, you have regulatory measures for safety, let's say motor vehicle inspection, which are not enforced 100%. How many points check up at the PMDIC? And then it became questioned, and therefore you have PMDIC version 2.0.
Also,
pa-BC effect lang eh.
Hindi, ang palaging argument kasi sa road safety, kaya naiinis ako, attorney, and that's why I wanted to discuss this, is the argument of anti-poor. If you are going to discipline someone on the road by imposing strict rules and heavy penalties, ang unang-unang ibibira sa'yo, anti-poor ka eh. Bakit? Pinahihirap mo yung pagbiyahe ng ordinaryong mamamayan. Diba? Ilan na nakadebate ko tungkol dyan, dun sa sektor ng mga militante. Diba? Tinatanong ko sa kanila, so anti-poor ako pa dahil ayaw ko mamatay sila. Magagalit sa akin.
And it got emphasized when the rich guy got ticketed and he put out a reward.
Yeah. Hindi. Pag-usapan na natin yun. Rich guy. Si Chabit. Hindi naman niya tinatago yung sarili niya eh. Diba? Si Governor Chabit Singson. Hinuli. Nagpa-ticket. And to encourage people, I'm not saying I agree with whatever it is he's doing. Ako, knowing these people, there is something behind whatever that is that he did. But tignan na natin from the surface. Doon na lang yung yung mababaw na lang yung natin, yung pananaw natin, 'di ba? Nagbigay siya ng 100,000 para ma-encourage yung mga enforcer na manghuli ng may gumagawa ng mali. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with, 'di ba?
I hope it was a sincere apology and a request that wag tularan. I mean that's the only one. That's to me. Seriously, I hope it was very sincere. I don't know him personally. The reward is laudable as well.
Yeah.
Attorney Rob, I have a question, Attorney Rob, or any one of you guys, kung alam ninyo. Tanong ko lang, hindi ba kailangan i-seminar yung MMDA officer na humingi ng pasensya kay Gov Chavit? Tanong ko lang, bakit niya kailangan gawin yun? Bakit siya humihingi ng pasensya sa abala? No, I'm serious. Di ba dapat i-seminar yung MMDA guy na yun?
But that's the culture of the Pinoy also. I've handled a vehicular accident in some remote town, and the entire neighborhood of mayor, ex-mayor, vice mayor, konsehal, former konsehal, former mayor
Kagawad.
will call up just to settle on behalf of the alleged victim na nakaperwisyo dun sa driver na sumusunod sa batas. That's what's gonna happen that's the culture, eh.
Patronage, eh, no? Patronage
Yeah.
talaga, attorney, eh, no?
Yeah.
Pag may patron ka, ayos ka, eh. 'Di ba? Ito, sabi ni Leslie C. Ibigyan natin ito si Leslie C. Bike lanes on narrow roads, obsolete because of the times? Question mark para sa kanya. I want to ask this question. This has been bothering me for the longest time. I don't know how the AAP looks at this, because I know the AAP has been a group that's been behind that the bike lane movement on many major roads in Metro Manila. Alternative mode of transport for that matter, 'di ba? Pero my biggest question was, gumawa ka ng bike lane, hinati mo yung isang lane. Tapos yung kalahati, ginawa mong bike lane. The other half, wala ka nang ginawa. How does this solve the issue of, number one, the motorcycle riders na alam na nga nating kamote, binigyan pa natin ng butas para lalong maging kamote, attorney?
I think the bike lane experiment is over. It's time for a new version of the bike lane.
2.0.
When you check the volume of usage, it's not that high in reality, no? I mean, it's not pandemic levels. Are they willing to share it back beyond rush hour? I don't know. Can it be physically segregated and desegregated because of the permanent bollards? That's the problem. Can we convince more to go back to biking again? And I was corrected by one of the advocates, and he said, no, many people use the bike lane. I agree there are people who use the bike lane, but I don't think it is that volume or ratio of the road.
No.
So do you say that it is 50% of the road users? No, it's not. At all times of the day.
It's not.
During the rush hour, I will concede and I will let the bike lane user use the bike lane. But in return, will they allow us to use it as well? And not on all alignments throughout the city, huh?
Yeah. I remember.
There are identified alignments with large volume. There are alignments which have no volume.
Yeah, I remember. Was this in Melbourne or in Sydney, where I was shown in Australia, where I was shown an in-city bike lane that traverses a different route from the main highways. In short, hindi siya may sarili siyang rota, bisikleta lang siya, na hindi siya nakikigulo dun sa major thoroughfares.
And that makes sense.
And it makes sense. Neil, no? In fact, nung makita ko yon, the first thing that popped into my mind was the route that we call mabuhay lanes. Kasi yung mabuhay lanes, ito yung mga lane na bumabiyahe sa inner roads ng Metro Manila, 'di ba? Na hindi naman masyadong dinadaanan ng malaking volume ng
parallel routes, 'di ba?
But it's a parallel route that can be used by bicycles. 'Di ba? Bakit? I asked this from an old, wala na pumanaw na si General Danny Lim. I asked General Danny Lim about this a long time ago when he was still MMDA chair. And sabi niya sa akin, he did want to use it not only as a bike lane but also as a motorcycle lane, or also as another form of route for much smaller vehicles. Kaya lang daw, yung, I'll be, I'll be straightforward, yung backlash daw mula sa local governments, medyo malaki. Bakit ipapasok mo sa loob ng syudad ko yung mga sasakyang yan? Eh makikigulo lang sa akin yan. Was the answer he got, attorney?
I think it needs a study. I think it needs a study of what are the large volume of daily workers who use the bicycle. Let's give it to them, no doubt. Meanwhile, they should give back the rest of the roads which are not being used back to the rest of the motoring public, whether it's
Uh-huh.
motorcycle, whether it's car or the bus. I think the pandemic exercise or experiment, if you want to call it that, is over.
Wala na. Lahat, yung pandemic, walang tao sa kalye. Di ba?
Yeah.
During the pandemic, walang tao sa kalye. So madali lahat ng experiment na yun eh. Eh nasa kalye na lahat ulit ng tao eh. Sabi ko nga, di bakit hindi mo, number one, bakit hindi mo gawing motorcycle lane yung kalahati nung lane na ginawa mong bike lane?
And yet that DILG-DOH regulation that recreated the bike lane was primarily recommendatory to the LGUs. It was not a mandated thing. It was subject to
Hindi
the
siya batas.
engineering. It was not. It was subject to engineering standards that were applicable. It was certain acceptability. And yet, again, the tolerance for the Pinoy for the bike lane is we live with it. We will tolerate it because it doesn't sound fashionably right. And I know I'm on the edge of poking my friends who do cycling and mobility, no, but I think it's time for us to come up and come up with more out of the box solution. If we have to
Yung
share it,
totoo.
we'll share it.
But realistic. I mean, masyadong masyadong dream face solutions ang tinitignan natin. That bike lane, masyadong panaginip yan eh. Bike lane on EDSA, panaginip yan. Bakit?
Guys, I tried it during Good Friday. It's scary and it really doesn't work. Pag hindi ka pala sumampa na Magallanes flyover, maiipit ka sa South Superhighway sa baba. I was heading back north from Mall of Asia. Hindi ko alam na pwede pala sumampa yung bike sa Magallanes flyover. So, I took the bottom and I thought, baka may madadaanan ako, pwede ako tumawid sa ilalim to the other side, to the Pasong Tamo side. But there was this really tall staircase and kailangan mo buhatin yung bike mo. You can't ride. So, I had to go in through South Superhighway, again, with traffic that's going really fast and coming into that side of Pasong Tamo. And EDSA doesn't, it's stupid. They should remove the bike lane from EDSA. Ilipat nila sa parallel. Tapos gumawa sila ng guide na if you want to go to this part of town from this part of town, you follow this color of line or something, and it takes you through the different cities that you have to run through to get to that part of Manila. Then EDSA. It's crazy, man. It's dapat nga walang sasakyan eh. It's not even an ordinary day, but it was scary. Nakakatakot.
Neil, I remember that. I remember that day. You lost a few pounds.
Yeah. I gained it back at dinner. Pero nakakatakot. Hindi siya viable talaga. Parang mema lang yung bike lane sa EDSA eh.
I mean, the solutions have always been again, palliativo. The term is palliative band-aid something that will sound very good on a press release and in a public announcement on television. But actually, in practice, it's either it's worthless, it's dangerous, or it's just nothing. Wala lang siya. Wala lang talaga siya.
You'll note that many of the regulations are practically impossible to enforce.
Yes.
And so when you can't enforce it, or the will to enforce it is not there, then the regulation becomes smooth and academic. Uh, Easily, I just say driving over the speed limit, otherwise known as overspeeding.
Overspeeding.
Driving over the speed limit, I say that there's no way to regulate it. Nobody has a speed gun. Who
Nobody wants.
has
No.
the speed gun?
No.
It's not easy to impose and say you were driving over the speed limit. The fact that we call it overspeeding, I think, is already a misnomer because we have just made it a whole lot more exciting to go speeding over and over and over. I was speeding faster than you. When all in simple terms, it's only called speeding.
Right.
Kasi kasi po may limit.
But pero
Ayaw makinig ang Pinoy eh. Ang mas gusto niya, lamang ako kaysa sa iyo eh.
hindi, alam mo, attorney, may isa akong ano dyan eh, may isa akong argument dyan eh. May nagalit na naman sa akin nung sinabi ko yun eh. 'Di ba? Sabi ko dapat yung kalye natin, parang ano yan eh, dapat parang corridor ng kindergarten yan at saka parang classroom ng kindergarten yan eh. 'Di ba? Yung let me explain. If you go to school, to a kindergarten school, from the moment you enter the vicinity, you will see instructions left and right, top to bottom, in front of you and behind you. Walk in this direction, go left, go right, sit in this manner, look in this manner, sit put your hands. Ganun
Say
eh.
please and thank you.
Lahat ng gagawin nung bata may instruction. So yung kalye natin dapat ganun din, parang classroom ng kindergarten. Dapat nakalagay doon every how many 100 meters ito ang speed mo, 60 kilometers per hour. Bakit? It pounds into the brain of the driver that his maximum speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour. Number 2, gaano kalayo yung pupuntahan mo at kailan ka kakanan at anong lane ka? Kung halimbawa kakanan ka sa Shaw Boulevard, dapat 2 kilometro pa lang ang layo, sinasabi na sa'yo na dito ka sa number 2 outer lane na pumuesto. Para pagdating mo 1 kilometer away, nandito ka na sa number 1 outer lane pumuesto. Di ba? Hindi eh. Walang ganun eh. Anong makikita mo magsasabi sa'yo na 2 kilometers away ang Shaw Boulevard? McDonald's, Shaw Boulevard, 2 kilometers. Sabi. Di ba? I mean, in short, yung kalye natin, the reason why nobody follows the rules is because there is nothing there telling you what the rules are. And if there are, they are so tiny, they are so small, and I think sinadya yun na ganun kalaki para when you break it, there's someone right there waiting for you. Aha! You broke the law. Am I making sense there?
I think it starts in driver education. It starts in road safety education for the children. There are road safety campaigns specific to children on how to go to school, where to cross the street, what to look out for, and understanding what is the flow of traffic and how to regulate the flow of pedestrian traffic near your public schools, near your elementary schools. It starts there. The sad part is the enforcement when it comes to the driving side of it. It's nowhere. Ako nga, I'm proud to say natuto ako mag-drive dahil sa JD Transit. Throughout high school and college, nagpa-public ako. Doon ako sa likod ng JD Transit driver, nakaupo.
Diba?
Alam mo yung kaliwat kanan eh. Tsaka kung kailan kakatok yung konduktor. Oh, di ba?
Yan ba yung mga kulay pula?
Yun yung bad habits talaga.
Terrible. Hindi bad eh. Terrible eh. Terrible habits. Terrible habits. And I guess if the government, sabi nga ng presidente, he wants a holistic approach. Sabi ni Secretary Bautista, he wants a more logical approach to addressing traffic. Um, sabi nung nagsi-senior moment na naman ako. But anyway, um, ang more holistic approach is that it has to be driver education. Ang dami-daming ang dami-dami ng pag-aaral, ang dami-dami ng tama. In fact, ang dami-dami ng tama na paraan para i-address ang traffic. Ang problema, most of the time, they are gathering dust somewhere in the corner of some building in some government office because nobody bothers to really say ito yung tamang dapat gawin. It's always ang traffic rule is always based on the convenience of a few people who wants to go really fast from point A to point B. Attorney.
I think that's right. I think it's really the question of how much regulation and how much enforcement is the Pinoy exposed to. If you look at the level of enforcement, it has been pretty haphazard from a training of the enforcer and then the ticketing system and the protest system. And AAP has been pushing for the use of technology in that respect. Whether it's the enforcement to your ticket in the LTO records or not, or whether it was NCAP. The sad part is we will have to respect the Supreme Court's TRO on the NCAP system.
Mhm.
We're not availing of the latest in technologies that are available, and that could have solved our problem to a degree as far as the traffic congestion and road behavior. Um, if you look at the engineering side of things, you have the bike lane is the classic problem. You
Yeah.
have projects which are in the pipeline, and we appreciate that coming in as far as the mass transport is concerned. But I think there are still engineering solutions like more bridges across the Pasig, for example.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh, there's been a lot of road alignments which have to shift dramatically because of expropriation problems. So it needs a community effort to have certain concessions, to have certain privileges. We have to agree that there are certain concessions and certain rights we have to give up in exchange.
Oo.
Uh, it's not absolute. I mean, we cannot. And yet, again, I go back. Our tolerance for traffic is so high.
Wag lang guluhin ang mundo natin. Yun palagi yung
Oh,
wag lang ako
oh,
maistorbo. Okay na yung traffic na yan, wag mo lang ako istorbohin.
oh,
Basta
di ba?
constant yung time frame mo. Pag
Oh, di ba?
bumabiyahe ka from north to south.
And
Uh,
yet, I don't know. Listen to this argument, attorney, and it's not just me who have voiced this argument. Every day, all our kababayans in EDSA are are experiencing 2 to 3 hour traffic gridlock on EDSA and on C5. Every day for the last what? 10, 15 years. Ganun ang ganun.
20
Yun
years.
ang yun ang yun. Yun ang problema. And one of my friends told me, di sabihin na natin sa mga kababayan natin, mga boss, bigyan mo ako ng 2, 3 taon, tatastasin ko yung EDSA at saka yung C5. Aayusin ko, patitinuin ko yung infrastructure, yung engineering, di ba? Pagkakabit-kabit ko lahat yan. Pero magtitiis tayo ng 2, 3 taon na matinding traffic. And not one politician will agree with me that we should do this. Why? Kasi magagalit daw yung constituents niya sa kanila.
Oo.
Nagagalit na nga ngayon sa inyo dahil 2, 3 oras Hindi naman magbabago yung traffic pagka tinastas natin yung EDSA at yung C5 2 to 3 hours pa rin yun. Iba lang ang dadaanan ng tao. 'Di ba? But in the end, after 2 to 3 years, we might, hindi nga might I'm sure of it I am sure EDSA and C5 will give us a better flow of traffic pag naayos natin. 'Di ba? Pero no politician wants to step up to the plate and talk about it. They're all scared of losing the votes.
Pero Ira, after 2 to 3 years, mas malaki na naman ang benta ng Campy, David.
Benta ng ano?
Benta ng Campy tsaka Avid mas malaki after 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
So kulang na naman yung adjustment. Kulang na naman yung infra na ginawa, di ba?
yeah, that's another sensitive point. Are you going to suppress car sales? Are you going to make it a deterrent to buying a car?
But I don't think
Park-
but I don't think magiging problema siya if we factor it in. Ang problema kasi, I'll give you the most perfect example of all. MRT3. Nung ginawa yung MRT3, it was built for only a maximum allowable capacity of a little over 100,000. Hindi pati yung mga platforms niya, pati yung mga waiting stations niya, lahat it was only built for a maximum allowable capacity of I think 110,000 per day. Hindi inilagay dun sa computation yung 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. So, what happened? 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, yung mga pumipila para gumamit ng MRT3 sa North halimbawa, sa North Avenue Station, 3 kilometra ang pila. Bakit? Because hindi in-incorporate sa plano. Kumpara natin, vis-a-vis Singapore, their subway system. Hanggang ngayon, hindi ka nakakakita, hindi ka nakakaramdam ng ganung klaseng congestion. Why? Because when it was built, the plan for expansion was incorporated into the building of those subways. Meron pa nga daw 2, 3 level sa ibaba ng Singapore subway na hindi pa nasisimulang gamitin kasi hindi pa kailangan. Kung gagawa tayo ng highway sana, kung aayusin, tatastasin natin si EDSA, tatastasin natin si C5, we will interconnect this with all of the connecting roads of all of the cities in Metro Manila. Kung sa pagpaplano natin hindi pa pogi, kung di future planning, i-incorporate natin yan, yung growth, yung explosion in the number of motor vehicles. I think hindi issue na magbenta ng maraming kotse si Campi at si Avid. Di ba? Di magbenta kayo, plinano ko na magkakaroon kayo ng 300% growth in 3 years. Di ba? I mean, I don't know.
Noted. Noted.
Di ba? Di ba? Kasi pag nagplano tayo hanggang sa harap ng ilong lang. I'm sorry. Our system of government allows the planners to only look at 6 years. I am sorry, but that is a fact.
So dapat pag natapos yung infrastructure na yun, wala na ring coding exemption ng mga hybrid and EVs.
I think so. I think pagkatapos natin dapat yung maayos na road infrastructure. Well, kung meron kang ibabawal, lahat ng ganung klaseng sasakyan bawal. Hindi yung may exemption, di ba? I mean, 3 E's. Attorney Robby Consunji knows this about the 3 E's of traffic: engineering, education, enforcement. In our society, where are the 3 E's? Attorney Robby, can you tell us? Meron bang 3 E's?
It's all tolerated on a substandard level.
Di ba?
Diba?
Di ba? Tayo lang ang merong major thoroughfare or almost similar to a freeway that has an on-ramp on the left side, on the express lane side of the highway. On-ramp yun.
Saan yan?
On-ramp. The Ortigas flyover, the Rockwell flyover, the Tramo flyover. Anong resulta? Lahat ng nanggagaling sa kanan nalalabas na dapat ay pupunta na Ortigas, makikipag-gitgitan dun sa mga kotse tumatakbo ng diretso dahil kailangan niya makasampa dun sa on-ramp na nasa kaliwang side ng kalye.
And the bus lane pa, di ba?
And the bus lane. Kasi nga, on-ramp mo nasa kaliwa. Logic tells you, yung on-ramp dapat nasa kanan kasi andun dapat talaga lahat ng pabagal at pasampa na sasakyan. Pero our great engineering minds decided it should be on the left lane. Ano nangyari? Umikot yung MRT. Imbes na i-adjust yung on-ramp, yung MRT ang pinaikot.
Ortigas.
This is Ortigas.
Yeah.
Where is the biggest bottleneck of EDSA? Ortigas. Why? Because it's the most confusing section of EDSA.
Yung eskwelahan nyo kasi. Alam niyo, yung Rockwell Bridge, kasalanan din ng eskwelahan nyo eh. Nainggit yung Kolehiyo de Santa Rosa. Maglagay rin kayo ng Estrella, flyover. Special kayo eh.
Of course.
Special children. Di ba?
Special students kayo eh.
But ano eh, no? But if talking about this and we're saying this, all of these things that we're talking about, and suddenly it just pops in my mind, ang lalim ng problema natin sa traffic, tapos mas malalim yung problema sa solusyon kasi sa totoo lang, tama yung sabi ni Atty. Consunji eh. Parang walang gustong umamin na yung solusyon tayo. Di ba?
I mean, I like the president's quotable quote where he said, pushing for discipline.
Yes.
Did it bounce off on the intended audience of drivers? Is the question.
Eh, paano pushing for discipline? Eh, yung mga kamote riders. One time, okay, I'll give you a story, attorney, no? One time, medyo may nakasagi sa auto ko na motorsiklo. Di ba? Sa loob siya ng lane ko. Malinaw sa batas natin na walang lane splitting. It's the law. It's there. It's right there in our law books.
Yes.
Lane splitting is prohibited. Nagpunta kami sa traffic kasi ayoko. Hinihingi ako ng pera. Siya na yung mali. Yung motorsiklo na yung mali. Siya pa nanghihingi ng pera sa akin eh. Di ba? So sabi ko sa traffic tayo mag-usap. Alam mo, sabi ng police na kausap ko, na by the way, ang transportation para umikot sa Metro Manila ay motorsiklo. Wala naman daw sa batas ang lane splitting. Pulis ang kausap ko Pulis. Nung kinalkal ko yung telepono ko para ipakita sa kanya yung provision ng batas sa law split, sa lane splitting, sa LTO law. Alam mo sagot niya sa akin? Eh, hirap niyan, boss eh. Susundin namin yan eh. Nakamotorsiklo kami. Nakamotorsiklo kami. Yun ang sagot ng pulis. So, the implementation of the law is now dependent on the implementer of the law. Eh, nakamotor ang pulis eh. Di syempre, pwede ang lane splitting. Di ba?
And who you're apprehending. Pagka medyo pasensya na boss.
Diba?
Hindi kasi applicable to all eh, 'di ba?
Sa Kamuning Bakery ko lang nakikita yung pasensya eh. 'Di ba? Kaibigan nga pala natin si Wilson. Wilson, good evening. 'Di ba? But has the AAP ever embarked on something that might, if it cannot, then sabihin na let's use the term might, that might at the least impact the thinking of Filipino motorists, especially here in Metro Manila, attorney?
We put out road safety campaigns as the main mandate for AAP. We've supported the membership strongly as far as lobbying for their interests. Something specific to road traffic, I might admit there's no specific one. We continue to monitor how government regulates and legislates relating to road traffic and road safety.
Pero, uh, sabi ni Randolph De Leon, you guys are putting out hard to swallow truths for those undisciplined people who love power tripping. Eh, isa sa pinakamalaking pinakamalaking problema natin diyan eh, 'di ba? Yang dinidiscuss ko kanina umaga si Chubby Chingson, attorney, sorry, I'll tell you this story again.
Uh,
Dinidiscuss ko si Chubby Chingson kanina umaga eh. Sabi ko at the least si Chubby Chingson had the temerity to admit na mali siya, 'di ba? Pinatikitan niya yung mga tao niya. Although medyo doubtful ako dun sa pag-aalok niya ng 100,000 reward at saka nagawa pa niyang i-plug yung niya, yung armored van vehicle business niya, 'di ba? At the same time. So okay na rin ako doon.
BMW.
Yung BMW niya, 'di ba? In contrast to a senator who alam naman nating lahat na nandun siya nung pinasok niya yung bus, nung convoy niya yung bus lane, tinanggi na niya, pinatanggal pa niya yung tao na nanghuli sa kanya. And publicly at that, complete with a privileged speech. 'Di ba? Actually kahit alam kong merong ulterior motive si Governor Chavit dun sa ginawa niya kanina umaga, mas respetable sa akin yung aktwasyon niya kaysa dun sa ginawa ng senador Yung senador talagang talagang ipokrito yung dating sa akin And I think kaya ganun yung driver natin kasi ganun yung ganun yung sinusundan nating mga pinuno 'Di ba? Bakit siya kaya niyang gawin, ako hindi ko kaya. I think that's one of the deep-rooted problems of traffic, not only traffic but law enforcement in our country for that matter, attorney.
it's where your strong, powerful politicians have to concede that that's beyond their territory to look into. It needs a healthy respect of the executive branch versus the judicial branch and the legislative branch. Not everything is the subject of investigative in the aid of legislation.
Legislative
Not everything.
investigation,
Not everything.
'di ba? Not everything, 'di ba? Yun yung nakakalungkot. Yun yung I guess malayo pa tayo sa totoong solusyon sa traffic ng Metro Manila. Senator Consunji, Attorney Consunji.
It's not overnight. I think we have the patience for it to chip away at it slowly at every opportunity you have to chip away at the system and bring up the standard. I try to be realistic that it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen this year.
It's not, or the next year.
It will have to happen over time and very gradually.
Yes. And yung NCAP, are we moving? Kasi hindi pa naman sinara ng Supreme Court yung NCAP 'di ba? TRO lang. They're still listening. Are they still listening to arguments about it or
no? That's been submitted. That's been submitted for resolution by the court sometime early last year.
Mm-hmm.
There've been motions for early resolution filed by the interested party. I've not heard what the actual status is. There's been no decision issued by the court yet.
No, we'll have to wait for it. But I think that's one of the better steps towards at least putting some discipline into our motorists along EDSA for that to be particular.
I agree.
The single ticketing system also, which is something na kinikriticize, pero ako I agree with that. Isang ticket na lang. Kasi kung maraming ticket, kanya-kanyang batas ng trapiko sa 17 kaharian sa Metro Manila We have 17 kingdoms in Metro Manila and each one has its own traffic rules. So, let me ask you this, attorney. Do you think traffic can be solved if we had a Metro Manila governor, an elected one for that matter?
I don't think it's a personality issue. I think it's a cultural issue of accepting how much patronage is allowed and accepting how much split in the branches of government are allowed. How much do you tolerate that variance? How much TRO will you do for every action of the executive department?
Mhm.
How much investigation will you do for every action of the for in aid of legislation? And how much TRO? All of that has to come into play. But
Oo.
it seems to be we've all forgotten that it supports one big idea, which says we're trying to make a community which is moving much better, much fluid, within safe means for all brackets of society. It's not a single bracket that we're looking out for.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think it's a cultural move first and foremost. That's why my emphasis is not really specific traffic light that you want to change and the timing of it. No, I mean that's in the list, but it's not the key idea for tonight. I think the key idea tonight is the Pinoy really willing to change what's happening and what he's confronting with? Is he willing to bring down his tolerance level and start making a move to make traffic flow? I think that's my appeal to you guys.
Kasi hindi naiintindihan ng tao eh. May masyadong high level yung mga pronouncements na we're losing 5 billion pesos a day because of traffic. I think I think yung mga ganong klaseng kampanya, walang epekto yun dun sa nakasakay sa bus kasi magkano yung 5 billion, ilang zero nga pala ulit yun. Ganun naman yung mentalidad nung kinakausap mo na driver ng taxi at saka ng di ba, ng jeep, attorney?
Yes, I'll share with you one anecdote on that matter. Uh, when I started law practice, I was into intellectual property law enforcement and trademark violations and copyright violations. We used to go after the infringing product. But I realized that the schooling system has taught the young children that touching a pirated DVD is a sin.
Huh?
In other words, once you touch a pirated DVD, it's a sin. And I think that came out from schooling which said wag kayong wag kayong bumili ng pirated DVD dahil kasalanan yan talaga.
Mm.
And I don't think that the norms of the Pinoy has made traffic violation a sin. And I know that there are two realms of what is legal and prohibited and what is religious and what is on that scale. But
Oo.
I was
Oo.
surprised to see that pirated DVDs was equated to being a sin. But is illegal parking equated to being a sin? Never.
Sandali lang, sir eh. Kukuha lang
Di
ako
ba?
ng tinapay eh.
Di ba? But I think it starts there from being a prohibited act that the Pinoy is not willing to give up certain concessions for general order for everybody.
Oo nga. I agree. I agree. I agree. It's going to be a very difficult thing, and it's going to take quite some education, quite some engineering, and quite some enforcement to get us to a point where baka maayos natin yung traffic natin. No,
Attorney Rob, for as long as there are fixers, 'di ba, in the LTO, isa pang problema rin 'yan, 'di ba? Kahit anong gawin nating seminar, driver education, rider education, as long as these some applicants will just pay for extra and get issued a license, talagang hindi rin magi-improve. I mean, yung kamoteng tinatawag, hindi rin kumokonti, dumadami pa nga actually. This, when I say kamote, I'm referring to both 2 and 4 wheels, di ba?
Pareho naman may kamote
Correct.
yan, mga yan. Pareho
Correct.
naman may kamote yan.
Correct.
It boils down to change, di ba? Ang Pinoy gusto magbago yung mga things na yan, pero ayaw niya magbago.
Yep. Yep.
You want to change the
The
world.
fixer promos are available on Facebook, I was told.
I know of a few, sinumbong ko na sa LTO. Bukas pa rin hanggang ngayon. May
Ay,
suspecha ako yung pinagsumbungan ko yung may-ari. Di ba?
And also, hindi lang fixer sa driver's license, ha. I've seen on different Viber communities na meron nag-a-advertise ng mga or registration renewal, non-appearance, emission tests, di ba? Nandun yung contact person, these things.
It's
So,
blatant na no?
mahirap talaga.
Wala nang taguan. Hindi na tinatawag. Hinihintay, well, I think, hindi sumagot sa akin si Alvin Uy. I was going to, we wanted to have a recap of the Manila International Auto Show. I'm sure you were there the whole weekend, this weekend, for the Manila International Auto Show. Attorney, how did you find it? How did you find the MIAS this weekend?
I was quite impressed that there were two venues. I was impressed with the many brands. I was not impressed with the parking. I was not impressed with the aircon. We were, as for my car club, we were happy to bring out a 1977 car.
Yeah.
We were happy to bring out and push for restoration and revival of memories that the old 1977 cars bring back. I mean, we're very happy with that part. There was an audience. The audience was appreciative of the restored car that we put out on display. There were many friends that also came out and people who said, lumaki ako, may ganito kami, may Range Rover kami nung araw. Sumakay ako sa ganyan, nung hinatid ako kay ganito. I think the vintage car side of it, it's really, the fulfillment is when you revive many old memories.
You had your own off-road display, di ba? Dito sa MIAS, attorney?
Not for me. Not for Land Rover Club. Ours was primarily the Range Rover on display.
Pero nag-rally ka di ba? Nakirally ka.
Pero nagkaroon ka ng rallycross. Naglaro ka doon. Yung kay Olson. Ba't wala dito si Olson?
Yung rallycross kay Olson yun, hindi sa akin yun.
Hindi, pero nakijamming ka dun I saw your post.
It was fun.
It looked fun. It looked so much fun.
Rallycross was another new item. It was quite good fun to be brought around in the drive throughout the track. It's an exposure to an entirely new motorsport field for me because that's not been my area really. I appreciate going there and having to see that motorsport is alive.
Motorsport is alive.
Attorney Rob, were you there when Russ Swift went out?
Oh yeah, he was there. I saw that. The car came in. It was very polished. It went out. It was very dusty.
But it looked fun, no? It looked fun.
At saka he did. Russ Swift did 2 heats.
Oh yeah.
And obviously the second heat was much faster, and I think it was record breaking to see that really.
Wow. Mabait pa si Olson kasi kung nakita niyang record breaking, malamang hiningan niya sana ng entry fee yun para nabigyan na rin ng trophy.
Trophy, no?
Magaling siya talaga.
Magaling talaga si Russ Swift. I mean, that exhibition showed na hindi lang siya pa stunt, hindi lang paikot-ikot ng kotse ang abilidad niya. Doing that at the Rallycross was an excellent way of showing his skill.
Legit siya.
First time. Diba? First time yan.
Yes.
It was great.
And si Olson, kilala ko yan, nahiya lang yan. Sasabihin niya sana, Russ, if you wanna compete, our entry fee for foreigners are times 1.5.
In dollars. Kaya lang, I have an issue with this year's, well, actually, not only this year, but almost every year, of both the Manila International Auto Show and the Philippine International Motor Show. Itong show natin na to, itong auto shows natin na to, walang araw para sa media, no? There is no specific day for the media. I'm sorry, I asked Alvin Uy to join us, and I wanted to get his opinion on this because sa social media, yung mga kasama natin sa trabaho, bugbog na bugbog yung issue na yan. For this year particularly, because we had to travel to two venues. Two locations to cover the launching and opening events of 30. This is record breaking. 30 manufacturers, 30 brands. And these are only car brands. Wala pa dito yung mga side events ng mga aftermarket, 'di ba? And other mga langis, gulong, and all that. This was purely for car brands, yung 30 auto car brands. It was pretty difficult for us to cover two events. Two events, buti sana kung yung dalawang event sites 300, 500 metro ang layo. 5 kilometro layo noon sa isa't isa. I appreciated the fact that there was a shuttle that was hindi na nga hourly. Hindi na humintong umikot yung shuttle, ikot na lang na ikot 'Di ba? Para mag-ferry ng mga tao from World Trade Center to SMX. But the problem is towards the afternoon of the first day, hindi na yung nagko-cover, hindi na makasakay ng shuttle. Kasi nakikipag-agawan na yung mga bisita 'Di ba? And then the fact that parang wala ng media day. So on the very first day, kalaban na ng mga nagko-cover ng media yung mga opening programs na yung public na hindi na kami makapagtrabaho. I am saying this because I just like to mention it now na while I understand the cost of having one free day for media, for only media to cover the event, yung bayad, yung gastos ng bayad na yon, 'di ba? Hindi rin kami makapagtrabaho Sa totoo lang, yung one free day na yon, sa dami ng pre, during, and post-event publications and releases, siguro naman, sorry Alvin siguro naman bayad na yung isang araw na ilibre mo na para sa media, yung buong araw para sa mga presentations. Kasi boss, hindi ako makakuha ng matinong litrato. 'Di ba? Yung mga kaibigan nating, alam ko mahal ko yung mga yan yung mga car enthusiasts na yan, those car lovers who go there. I love them. But sometimes you guys are irritating because nakita niyo kami may malaking ID na media. Kumukuha kami ng litrato, tatayo kayo bigla dun sa harap namin 'Di ba? Tatayo kayo, may dala-dala kayo selfie stick. Nakangiti pa kayo sa amin habang ginagawa niyo 'yon. Alam niyo iniistorbo niyo yung trabaho namin. 'Di ba? I mean, I love this year's Manila International Auto Show. It was very new. It was very dynamic.
Well, alam
It
nyo,
was very frustrating.
Ako naman, ang take ko dyan, this is the first time that it happened in two venues, 5 kilometers away. So, knowing Alvin and Jason di ba? 19 years nakita naman natin paano nag-improve through the years. So, I'm sure by next year, kung pareho pa rin ang setup sa SMX and World Trade Center, I'm sure meron ng mga improvements. And doon naman sa nabasa ko rin yung sinasabi ni Ira na marami tayong colleagues na nagrereklamo. Ako, I think it's better na the supplier and the manufacturer, 'di ba? Sana
Isa pa
sila
yan,
ang
yung mga
mag-usap.
supplier na
Yung
yan.
briefing na maganda, 'di
Isa pa
ba?
yung mga
Na
supplier na yan. Nung araw naman, hindi naman tumatakbo sa gitna yung mga floor director at saka mga, di ba?
I think the more they move, that's one proof that they can charge more or higher.
Di ba? I mean,
No, but still, anyway, sana lang mas mag-usap sila, may coordination lang.
di ba? You're interviewing, you're trying to set up a car executive in front of his car to interview him para maganda yung frame mo. Di ba? May biglang tatayo na member ng production unit. Di ba? Kasi kailangan, di ba? Pag pinagsabihan mo, ang sama parang tingin siya, parang ikaw pang, bakit? Nagtatrabaho lang ako ah. Parang ganun pa yung...
And merong ibang supplier na talagang medyo brusko ang approach sa atin. Di ba?
Tinulak ako eh. Gusto kong bato. Sorry ah.
Ikaw, hindi ako niwala, tinula ka.
Sorry, pero may tumulak sa akin. Muntik-muntikan na talaga. Pero biro, muntik na yung taong yun. I'll be honest. Muntik na yung
Hindi,
tao.
pero alam nyo, okay lang sana if we can go there and just watch. Tapos, if-furnish na tayo ng photos and B-rolls, everything we need, para we can enjoy it. Kasi, alam ko, pinaghirapan nila yung concept, yung mga interpretative dance nila, at kung ano-ano, para ma-enjoy din natin. Makita natin yung how that translates into a launch. Pero hindi rin tayo makapaghintay kasi nakipag-unahan tayo sa public. Tapos, pupwesto tayo, maghanap tayo ng magandang pwesto. Tapos yung pinwestohan pala natin, malayo dun sa kung saan po-post yung mga boss sa kotse, di ba? So, if they can just furnish us all of that, and we can just come and attend and move from one launch to another without needing to stress ourselves to take our own photos, siguro, okay na din na deal yun. Basta they have it ready for us right after the performance, di ba? Or
ang
mga
problema,
30
nauuna yung
minutes to an
SPE eh.
hour.
Nauuna doon sa mga vendors at contractors yung same day edit eh.
Oo.
Di ba? Yung mga PR, di ba? I mean,
Yung
I'll be honest,
documentation nila.
I'll be honest. I have my family runs an ad agency and a PR agency, and the mantra is, di ba, your PR must go to its target market as soon as you can possibly get it to them. In our case, this is an ongoing live event with today's technology. You know, I was at the Attorney Robby. I was at the Japanese Ability Show in Tokyo last year, and I was sitting beside to the left and right of me, two European journalists. They had their small camera focused right smack on the stage. They had their laptops open. And as everything was ongoing, they were typing out their stories. That by the time the presentation was over, they had posted it already on their website. Ganun kabilis yun eh. Doon sa JMS, wala ka nakikitang contractor, production people na tumatawid sa gitna nung nagsasalita sa harap ng media. No, everything was behind us. The media were positioned in such a manner that we are able to get our videos and our quotes and listen to the speakers properly, di ba? While their production people are behind us on
Behind the scenes
platforms.
talaga eh. No?
Oh, on platforms.
Elevated normally sila.
Di ba? The directors had proper communication equipment with proper signboards and signalings so that yung presentation sa stage hindi nadidistorbo. Di ba? And it's that fast. The two guys right beside me, pagtingin ko, nire-review na nila yung post nila sa website nila. Right after, a minute after the event, after the launch was concluded. Eh, hindi ba ganun din naman ang gusto natin mangyari habang nagko-cover tayo ng NIAS? 'Di ba? Gusto rin nating mangyari habang pagkatapos ng presentation na-i-post na natin yung story at lalo na yung mga kaibigan natin sa trabaho na website ang output. 'Di ba yun ang gusto din nila mangyari? Kaya lang din nila magawa. Frustrated sila. Paano nila magagawa? Hindi nga, paano mo madidinig yun? Nagpe-present yung isang booth. Bumibira ng sound check yung katabi niyang booth. 'Di ba? Kung gaano kalakas yung speaker nung pinakikinggan mo, ganun din kalakas yung sound system yung tugtog ng sound system ng katabi niyang booth doing a sound check. Couldn't they have done that the day before? All those sound check adjustments and all those Why do they have to do that on the same day? Di ba? Sorry ranting. If you're watching
At saka hindi dahil sa age yun, sa coverage po yun. Baka may humirit kay Ira, matanda ka na boss, kaya ka irritable.
Pasensya na, Alvin
Just on that score, I think the comment also is that on the morning of the first day was very dark.
Yes.
And that was not appreciated by the general public.
Yes.
I got feedback that sending them to the show that day was a wrong move. There was nothing to see because it was too dark. Until I think it was until 4 o'clock. They only turned on the lights at 4.
Day one.
Sabi nila
Day
kasi, nakapatay yung mga ibang ilaw kasi hindi pa tapos mag-present yung mga ibang brands. Pero nangyari doon, a lot of the photos were backlit because there were no other lights facing the presentation. So I think I have a few photos that were really badly lit from behind or on the side. Kasi yun nga, hindi nila pina-on yung mga ilaw.
It's the timeliness. I think it's the immediacy of the news report that is affected. The 10 o'clock program cannot be put out at 10:02. You're forced to do a good photo shoot when there's less traffic, there's less people. You can do a photo shoot early the next day at the earliest, or not even end of the day. End of the day is still chaotic.
Pero babalik
Kalma ka
tayo.
daw.
Ito si Joel, taga World Bex to eh.
Kahit na, taga World Bex
Joel.
list it down, Howell. List it down.
Yeah.
Diba? But we're going back to, diba, yung pinag-uusapan natin na kanina about culture sa traffic, attorney. Diba? Katulad yan, events like that. Why don't we start in time? Why are we waiting for other people? We're waiting for more media to arrive kasi wag nating simulan. Bakit? Aapat pa lang ang media natin eh. Hindi pa dumadating yung 6. 'Di ba? Iurong natin yung presentation. Bakit? Wala pa si special guest. 'Di ba? No eh. Ako personally, I don't believe in that. If they're not there, they're not there. If I say the program will start at 7 and they're not there, then they're not there. I will start the program at 7 because meron akong programa buong araw eh. Hanggang gabi yun eh. Dapat hanggang alas 7 lang yung aktibidad inabot na hanggang alas 9, alas 10. Bakit? Kasi hinihintay pa si ganito, hinihintay pa si ganyan, nakakahiya naman kay ganito, 'di ba? Pag hindi natin pinatayo, 'di ba? Uy, wala dito si ganyan. May picture. Tawagin mo bago tayo mag-picture. 'Di ba? Ang layo-layo na, habulin mo pa, 'di ba? Bababalikin mo pa. And it takes up so much time. Ikakabit ko nga yun dun sa traffic issue ni Atty. Consunji 'di ba? Yung kultura eh. May problema yung kultura talaga eh, 'di ba? And that affects a well-organized activity like the Manila International Auto Show. 'Di ba? Maganda sana yung coverage eh. Maganda yung daming auto eh. Magaganda yung mga kotse. Ang daming artista eh. Nakita ko si Papa Piolo eh. Kinilig ako eh. Ay, sorry. Di ba? Nakita ko si Ding Dong Dantes eh. Hindi niya kasama si Marian Rivera eh. Sayang. Di ba? But, I mean, it was a fun, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. It's just that,
It's those little things
di ba?
that add up.
That destroys ang tawag doon is the experience. Di ba? Ang ganda ng experience mo eh, pero may mga napakaliliit na marami na sunod-sunod na irritants. And I'd like to tell this to almost everyone, every PR practitioner out there, and every people who like to use, I use the term use, the media. Huwag po ninyong kakalimutan na sa istorya, yung huling experience nung media na inimbita nyo will dictate the tempo of the stories that are going to come out. If their last experience was a very satisfying experience, very satisfying yung storya. If their last experience is very bitter and negative, I promise you, it is going to come out bitter and negative. Because that's what they will remember. And that will be my...
Much bitter.
So, since hindi ako nakapunta sa Gloria Maris, okay ba ang spread?
Masarap yung
O
pagkain.
hindi?
Masarap yung pagkain.
Yun. So,
Sa table.
satisfied ang story.
Masarap yung pagkain. Pero kahit na magrereklamo pa rin ako dun sa Di ba? Alam nyo naman na you know me, you guys know me. Di ba?
I know the question I had, Ira, was
They
the
can
question
always
I
take
had-
it up to dinner. Attorney? Sorry.
is there a better venue for Mias out of the metropolitan Manila? Somewhere where
Wala
there's
akong
less
makita.
traffic.
Alam mo,
Parang wala
attorney?
eh.
There is one. I don't know kung papayagan tayo nung organisasyon na may-ari nun. We can always do it at the Manila at the Philippine Arena in Bulacan. That is a good venue.
May suggestion ako dyan. I remember. Ayoko kung
Ang problema mo lang
Rob.
dyan, ang problema, short lang guys. Ang problema mo lang dyan is dapat matyaga ka sa pag-alis. Yung pagpasok hindi problema eh. Yung pag-uwi ang problema mo.
Hila, no?
Philippine Arena. Kasi yung exit, iisa lang. So pipila kayong lahat. So kailangan nyo ng pasensya para umalis doon. But in terms of size, in terms of configuration, in terms of facility, perfect. Magandang facility ang Philippine Arena.
I
Sa
think
Bulacan.
it's time to bring the car show out to out of Metro Manila. I think that's my theory.
Mhm. Yeah,
It will really bring in a big new audience, and it will also have better amenities for the audience, for those who show up and go watch the show. It won't be as difficult as this one with the parking in the dust.
That's one of the things. You know, it's matalino, may nakausap ako matalino kaya hindi ko na lang sasabihin kung sino kaya nakaisa ako eh. You know where I parked? I parked in the SM parking in front of SMX.
Yeah, that works. Tapos mag-shuttle ka na lang papuntang World Trade.
Because it has a connecting tunnel, connecting
Walkway.
Walkway, overhead walkway from the parking to SMX. And then, tama ka, Neil, nag-shuttle na lang ako papuntang World Trade Center. And then pabalik, nag-shuttle na lang ulit ako. 'Di ba? Pero yung shuttle papuntang World Trade Center from SMX, madali. Konti lang ang
Yung pabalik.
tao. Yung pabalik, kalahating oras kang nakatayo sa pila.
Pila.
Ganun karami yung umiikot. I think ma-adjust naman nila Alvin yan. Di ba the next time?
Next time you will have to buy your ticket to enter. try buying a ticket to enter. It took like 30 minutes for
Ayun,
some
pila
friends of
din yun
mine.
eh, no?
Pila
Yeah.
din yun. Yung ticket, di ba? Hindi ba pwedeng ipag-grab na lang sa akin yung ticket, Tony?
Or mag-pre-sell, no? Tapos print out mo na lang or QR
I think
code.
it was available online, and there was a QR code available.
Sa QR code.
Not everybody availed of it. That's
Lagyan nyo
why.
sa Grab. Lagyan nyo sa Grab food. Di
Di
ba?
ba?
Yung ticket ng Miyas. Di ba? Pwedeng orderin doon. De-deliver sa iyo nung rider ng Grab sa bahay nyo.
Pwede.
Okay din yun. Di ba? But all in all, it was a good experience. Sinira lang talaga ng mga, especially for us. Especially for us covering dahil, di ba? Naghahabol kami ng mga story. Isipin mo, nung bandang hapon na ng Biyernes, mainit na ulo ni Neil dahil lahat ng writer niya pinagagalitan niya nandun sa group chat hanggang ngayon wala pa yung mga storya ninyo, kahapon pa yan. Ganun eh.
The day after, mainit pa rin ang ulo.
Okay, after mainit pa rin ang ulo, hinahanap yung mga storya. Asan yung mga storya ninyo? Diba?
Pero yeah, Ira's right. It was an experience. Ang daming brands ngayon. I think looking back at when I arrived dito sa Pilipinas, tatlong brands lang ata. I remember my dad and I went to a motor show in Folk Arts in 91. Sa Folk Arts na parang I was there the other day and I drove past na parang paano nagkasya yung car show dito na, 'di ba? So, it's come such a long way. Na I think, yeah, there's some little things that need to be fixed.
After nyo ng motor show, naglaro ka ng tennis sa CCP. Alam ko na yan, Neil. Hindi mo pa nagsabi ka ng totoo.
Si Alvin, sabi ni Alvin, hello, tonight or tomorrow. Sorry was driving. Almost home. Took RS to the airport. Ay, okay. Galing pa kami Escala, straight to airport. Kasama niya si Russ Swift. Inatid niya sa airport. I'll give you a chance. We'll have Kalye-Tok tomorrow.
Si Lolo. Lolo Ross.
Anyway, Attorney Rob, I don't know if you were around when this was in 2007. I'm talking about the venue, a possible venue, although malabo ito. 2007 Car Club Meet, it was organized by Mr. RSA decided to gather all the car clubs. If you remember that, San Miguel grounds.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, there were 400 cars.
Yeah.
At marami pang space ang San Miguel grounds.
Wow.
'Di ba? And nag-buffet breakfast no? Hindi masikip.
But I think the Pinoy likes the car show because it's air conditioned.
Yeah.
San
Yun
Miguel
lang.
ground was outdoors.
Saka hindi naman i-open to the public ng although that was open to the public, pero siyempre mostly, 'di ba, were car owners and their friends, 'di ba?
Yes.
Not really open to everyone. Pero yeah, that San Miguel grounds has huge open space.
Almost home na daw si Alvin. Hintayin natin.
Pwede.
Pwede. Bakit hindi? Diba? Hintayin natin. No, maybe it would be nice to be able to personally send him the sentiment. Marami namang marami, hindi lang naman tayo ang nagsasabi noon. There's a whole social media series of posts about it, and kung kakayanin, give him 10 minutes daw. Let's talk about him 10 more minutes. Then we can stop talking about him when he goes on there. Yeah. But nevertheless, ilan? 162,000 plus ang this year
162.
ang pumunta. Post-pandemic, that was like 120 yata over 120 ang highest ano niya. So we can say na roughly about 30% increase in audience ang nakuha ng Manila International Auto Show for this year, if my math is correct.
I wanna know the tally.
The two venues allow them to process more people. I think that's
That too, no? I think you're correct, ano? Dahil dalawa yung venue, at saka pwede kang pwede kang mag-register in any eh. So, kung gusto mong bumili, kung may ticket ka, bumili ka ng ticket dun sa SMX, pag natatakang ka na dun sa braso mo, pwede ka naman lumipat ng World Trade Center nang walang problema. 'Di ba? And vice versa. So, in terms of capability to allow entry to more people, nadoble. Parang nadoble yung nadoble yung entry point mo. So mas dumami yung taong pwedeng pumunta. That's one. Number two, I noticed that a lot of the viewers from SMX came from Mall of Asia. And what's that the big Swedish shop near IKEA. Marami doon eh. A lot of them came from those commercial centers na mukhang nakadagdag, nakatulong.
I think when they realize na may free shuttle back and forth, parang nandito na tayo eh. Why not? Kapark na tayo. Okay na. Let's take a shuttle.
I think
May
that was
ticket na tayo. Okay na.
Hindi ko alam kung sinadya yun o aksidente, but whatever it is, it was a pretty good thing to put two venues, di ba?
Yeah, if Alvin wants to, pwede pa rin yung second floor ng SMX eh.
Libre pa rin yung second floor ng SMX, actually.
Oo, pwede pa yun. That's a lot more space upstairs, di ba?
A lot more space. Ilan ang produkto, ilan ang brands dun sa SMX? Nasa 10 yata, mahigit 10.
Yeah, mga ganun.
More than 10.
So if you want to make more space at World Trade, pwede mo ilipat dun sa taas ng SMX so that there's more space for people.
We're giving him ideas na naman.
Natutuwa SM dyan.
We're giving him ideas na naman. Kayo talaga, ayan na naman. Parang si Meme na pumuseno na naman, ayan na naman kayo.
What I noticed was the guys who went to the car show had their wives with them.
Yes.
And the key reason they were with them was because of the proximity to MOA.
That's right. That's why I was saying, I realized, attorney, na marami yung galing ng MOA because ang impression ko was marami yung namamasyal na pamilya sa MOA kasi maraming bata sa SMX.
Mm-hmm.
There was a huge number of kids just running around in SMX. So the general idea that got into my mind was galing ito sa MOA at saka sa IKEA. Di ba? Tapos nakita nila, uy, merong motor show. Sumilip na tayo. And then, after spending how much in SM and in IKEA, you find out you only have to spend 150 pesos per head to get inside. And you're a family of 4. That's like 600 pesos. After spending 6,000-7,000 pesos in SM and IKEA, 600 pesos is going to be nothing.
You have to remember,
it's good value for entertainment.
One of the main reasons people don't go to Mia's on weekends is parking, di ba? After Thursday, Friday, medyo pahirapan na yung parking eh. All of a sudden, you've got SM to park at, covered parking, flat rate.
And those are two huge parking slots, ha? The parking slot of SM right in front of SMX, and the parking slot right in front of the MOA Arena. What do you call that? The arena.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yung may IKEA
and then the IKEA parking slot.
Yeah.
Yung parking slot sa IKEA, may resibo ka lang ng IKEA, libre ka na buong araw doon eh. 'Di ba? So, I think that was a pretty good move. 'Di ba? hindi pa traffic sa SMX, hindi katulad sa World Trade Center. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. When I went when the guy told me, doon ka pumarada sa ano, doon ka pumarada sa parking, sa SM parking sa tapat ng SMX. Sabi ko, bakit diyan sa World Trade Center? Maglalakad ka ng 10 minutes sa ilalim ng araw bago ka makarating doon sa World Trade Center.
Malikabukan ka
see,
pa ng rallycross.
but you see, you don't like to walk.
10 minutes lang.
Attorney, walking under the bright sun is not good for my complexion.
Mabagal ang karma ngayon 1 hour.
You have to excuse me, attorney. Walking under the heat of the sun is not good for my complexion. Look at me. Do you think I
Magpayong
need
ka.
more sun? Do you think I need more sun? Look at me. Have pity.
Actually, 'di ba yung World Trade Center wala naman sanang problema kung hindi umulan. Sobrang
Isa pa yun.
hassle pag umulan kasi
Oh,
putik na pag opening day ng ano, 'di ba? Naka-formal pa tayo minsan pag opening day ng Philippine International Motor Show. Minsan umulan pagdating mo doon yung leather shoes mong itim, wala na.
Hindi, okay na yun. Yung PIMS, sa September pa yun, October pa yun. Di ba?
Yeah, pag-ulan.
Summer naman ng Miyas so alikabok ang problema mo sa Miyas.
It rained. It rained on Saturday afternoon. It rained.
Pinagbigyan talaga yung rally ni Olson?
Oh, it rained. It controlled the dust at the rally. Mababa yung dust level.
Talaga.
I saw the dust was going towards ano ba yon, yung towards the Senate area.
Film Center.
Film Center.
Film Center.
Yeah.
Kawawa.
Dati kasi pabalik yung alikabok Oh man.
Ay no. Bakit meron akong ano ngayon? Yun. Ito, sabi ni Anjo, the past 5 Miyas events, evident na hindi na important sa manufacturers ang media coverage. Ang mantra nila ay bahala na sila mag-cover and produce a good event, a good coverage.
Okay, fine,
Some I will have to say yes. May ilang manufacturer na I have to agree with Anjo. Wala na silang pakialam. Ang kanila is araw-arawin nila yung, and alam naman natin kung sino to di ba, yung in the next 4 days, yung kung ano yung pinalabas nila nung launch, paulit-ulit nilang ginagawa for the next 4 days for the benefit of the real audience, the target car buyers. Yung media, by the way na tayo doon. May mga ganoon, may mga brands na ganoon na yung mentalidad. Hindi ikaw ang audience namin, media. Ang audience namin is yung crowd na pupunta rito at baka sakali na bumili sa amin. Total may BPI naman dun sa gilid kung gusto nilang umutang para sa kotse bibilin nila. I mean, I have to be honest, and that's true. And again, kaya nga hindi ko rin pwedeng sabihin si Miyas lahat ito Kasi si manufacturer, hindi na rin tayo iniisip Hindi na rin nila iniisip yung broader coverage. How do I say this? Ang nakakalimutan nila is yung 160,000 na nanood dun sa Miyas is a minute amount compared to the number of people who will be reading, viewing, and talking about their cars after the media publishes their event. They are, I'm sorry pero marami rin ako nakakausap ng mga tao, executives sa mga car companies Pag mga ganitong event kasi, they are so focused on the number of sales on that event.
Mm-hmm.
Well, kasi substantial din yung ginagastos nila
Yun nga yun At andun yung mentalidad nila, gumastos na ako ng ganito kalaki So dapat ganito karaming kotse ang mabenta ko dito sa event na 'to
At
for
least
me.
maka-generate ng leads, no?
Oo, oo, for me para mabawi ko yung investment ko. I'm not I'm not I'm not, hindi ko aawayin 'yun, hindi ko aawayin 'yun. Kaya lang ang sasabihin ko lang sa kanila is, kung hindi natin isusulat 'yun, 162,000 lang yung audience niya. I mean, let's be frank about it, 'di ba? Kung hindi natin isusulat 'yun, andito na si Alvin. Oh, Alvin is here. Oh, tigil na natin yung bashing, Nandito na si Alvin. Sige,
Hi,
Alvin.
Alvin.
Kumusta?
Hi, Alvin.
How's
Congrats,
everyone?
Alvin!
Hi, Atty.
Mukhang ginabi ka, Alvin,
Hinatid
hinatid
ko
mo
si
pa talaga.
Oo, hinatid namin sila Swift saka si Chris sa
Ah,
airport. Kawawa naman eh. Papagrab ko sana kaso ang layo eh. Walang
sana
tumanggap.
pinag-grab mo na lang o kaya
Oo nga eh,
pinaka
walang tumanggap eh.
pinaangkas mo na lang, 'di ba? Sana nag-angkas
Oo.
na lang siya, 'di ba?
Alvin,
Okay.
How's everyone?
We're good. We're good. Thank you very much. We were talking about the Manila International Auto Show.
Oh,
The
balita ko
good
may
and the
show
bad.
last week eh.
Balita mo meron no?
Oo. Attend sana ako eh. Walang bumigay ng ticket eh.
162,000 plus, Alvin. Am I right?
Oo
Is the
eh.
number
We like
correct?
to make things up eh. Ayun.
You like to
Joke only. We're very blessed to breach another record.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Uh,
you.
we were again, as I was saying, we were talking about the Mias and the good and the bad. The good and the bad.
Yes.
It was a beautiful
There were
way.
some
It
pain
was a
points
beautiful.
from the customer experience guy. I was just talking to Jill about it.
Mhm.
We were out that pinpointed certain problems of on some of one of the venues.
Actually, the best venue was SMX. To be honest about it, I was surprised
Some people were
because
saying that, yeah.
SMX was the one that was the most impressive of the two venues when
Oh, thank
dapat,
you.
to be honest, dapat it should have been the World Trade Center dahil doon yun na
Mm,
ginagawa yun ng pagkatagal-tagal, 'di ba?
yeah.
We were talking
So
about
it's not entirely the venue owner's fault naman. There were certain things na we could have done better as well.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Oh, we were talking about the viewer experience, the media experience.
Mm.
Um, Let me ask you, Alvin. No, would be straight. I'll go straight to the point about a few of the issues with the Manila International Auto Show.
Sure.
Um,
Yes, yes.
yung yung media day when the media had a hard time doing their coverage. Meron ba talagang nagkaroon ba ng pre-launch day practice yung mga ano natin, mga exhibitors natin or
You mean
it was
parang dress rehearsal?
yeah, nagganon mga dress rehearsals?
Some did. We actually allowed that. But they had to because we could only give 3 days of construction time, which is a day more than the usual than the other shows. Other shows have a day and a half uh, head start to do their construction. We already made 3 days, and
Mhm.
we just came off from Holy Week. So I guess
Oo.
some people sluggish din.
Mhm.
Um, and maybe there were some preparations that were like say, materials or mobilization of crew or maybe absentees, ganon. Uh, there were probably some concerns on that. Kaya siguro the first day was a bit sluggish. But when we were monitoring it, first day pa lang, everybody went into action na. Uh, but to answer your question about dress rehearsals, it's usually done within the construction time din.
Yes.
So while people are making puk-puk on the other side, they were blasting their audio on the other booths, doing their own dress rehearsals, assuming that their own booth is already ready. Some are, while during construction, ano nagre-dress rehearsal.
Oo,
Dapat nga
oo.
next year, lahat sila mag-YMCA na lang para hindi halata.
Parang
Nagde-dress rehearsal sila. May tubero, may kantero, gano'n.
oo.
May pulis, gano'n. Nagde-dress rehearsal na lang. Gano'n.
Although
Para habang
although
nag-ano 'no, YMCA na lang.
to be honest, one of the exhibitors, si Omoda,
Mhm.
I saw while everything was while all the launches were happening at the World Trade Center, sila nagtatayo pa ng booth nila dun sa SMX.
Actually, the booth was complete, the night before. They did not
Oo,
even ask for overtime. They
oo.
were well, our cutoff was 10 o'clock. We
Yes,
extended
yes.
until 11. They didn't even avail of the 11 o'clock overtime na.
Mm.
It was ano, the cars were missing. They came in during the show date na. It's an
Yeah,
exception
yeah.
allowed kasi there were some hiccups daw in the
Sa
um
customs, sa customs.
in the
Yeah.
customs, oo, so they had to come all the way from Batangas. I think it was released the night before, but there was some travel time involved getting all the flatbeds or ano. So we were told that the cars would arrive around midday. And with the show live, we had to pre-plan everything to make sure it's safe and it's seamless to them. So we made special arrangements to have the back door open for we gave them a window of 15 minutes, which they complied naman.
Wait,
They wanted to have one car per ano, parang inipon muna nila yung kotse. But we
oo.
told them instead of making one in the morning, one in afternoon, we just gave them a 15-minute window, and the least busiest time was around, I think, 1 o'clock. Everybody was
Yeah,
having lunch.
yeah.
So we opened it, and thankfully, their booth is almost all the way at the back. So it's very close to it's just a few meters from the shutter gate. So we opened the
Oo.
shutter gate for 15 minutes, and the cars rolled in. They had about 4 or 5 cars, but the problem is they had to accessorize the cars. That some had to have those origami tents on the roof deck.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Some had
uh-huh.
some other accessories. So it appeared that they were under construction, but they're actually fitting out the accessories.
Oo. Actually, what I was going to say was nagulat ako because when I got there at 1 o'clock, they were in that process. They were in that process of
Tama, tama, tama,
tidying it up, finishing
tama,
it. But by the
tama,
time I got back for their presentation at 7 o'clock, they were they were in perfect condition. They
tama.
were very good. They were very good.
Bali si
So
Uzi handled it pretty well. I didn't even go there to double check. I just went there, oh, the cars are in, and that's it. I trusted their methodology naman.
mm,
So,
mm.
and I heard Uzi hired some people from from a street in Quezon City, famous for selling accessories. Yung magaling
Uh,
magtanggal kabit, gano'n.
ga-
I won't name the street, baka maano tayo, eh. So,
yung may rice
hint na lang,
terraces,
hint. Hint
yung
na
may
lang.
rice terraces, yung may
Oo,
rice
yun,
terraces
yun,
na
yun.
yun. Yun,
Yung
ano?
may Eighth Wonder of the World na pangalan.
Anyway,
Magaling mga tao
anyway,
dun, parang F1 yan.
oh, one of the
Dito
more
nagre-recruit si Christian Horner, ng mga F1 crew niya.
uh,
Magaling magtanggal ng gulong, eh.
Yung pit crew.
Oo, may
one of
mga pit crew
the
na magaling yan.
one of the more surprising happenings during the event was this Saturday when
Mhm.
Russ Swift came out with his car and decided to join Olson's rallycross.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I bumped into Olson Friday afternoon. Sabi ko,
Mm.
"Ols, are you guys ready na for Saturday?" I wanted to have over that morning, but I got so tied up. But that Friday afternoon, sabi, "Well, Bin, I know it's last minute, but can you ask Russ Swift to drop by?" Sabi ko, "Sure. But let me tell the guys at Subaru because um, he's technically not my talent, our talent in Mias. He's the talent of Subaru. So I have to ask their permission and their consent. And aside from asking, well, his only ask was to have Rasweep come over, say hi, picture, picture. But also said he's also open to the idea of bringing a couple of cars over for display and maybe do some. Well, he jokingly said maybe do some donuts there or something. So sabi
Yeah.
ko, sige, let's I'll put on the wish list and then let's see what happens. Unfortunately, the Subaru team was quite busy rin that afternoon. They only got back to me the Saturday morning. So I called
Mm.
Olson. Sabi ko, "Hey, Ols," but he was busy running the show na. So I just told Alexis of Subaru, Alexis, just show up na lang, and then it's open to public naman, and look for someone who can take care of you. All of the guys there are friends naman. So and they even brought Manyam even prepared a car for them. So
Uh-huh.
Oo.
ayun sabi ni Joel daw ano ba yung sinabi ni Joel kanina? Kaka-post lang niya.
Uh,
Ah, Rice Terraces daw.
Rice Terraces boys.
Rice Terraces boys. Ayos, ayun. So, yun. Bale, he was able to Joel, nakatulog ka na ba? Si Joel yung nagbabantay ng mga car club
Oo,
display
oo nga
sa
eh.
driveway, yun. So what happened there was I think he was invited to do a couple of rounds, couple of laps.
Yeah,
He did
yeah, I
he
heard.
did
I
2
wish I
heats.
wish you guys can share the video so we can reshare it. I only saw the photo of him and Louis in the car.
Louis.
Yeah,
Louis, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oo. Oh, ay minahanap ko yung video eh. Nanakawin ko sana sa Facebook eh, kaya lang I wanted to show the people because that was a very surprising thing. I
Ay,
don't think
galing
it
'no?
was in the program. I don't think it was in the program. Am I right,
Yeah,
Alvin?
and naman siguro they're always ready to spring into action,
Mm.
just like 2006 if you remember that story.
They showed up in a shiny car, Alvin.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
after
wow!
2 rounds on the
Pina-detail
track,
pa. Ah,
it left very
wow,
dusty.
galing, 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 galing. I wish I was there.
I heard it was very good. I wasn't there. I wasn't
Galing.
there.
Kasi
I wish
natutulog
I
lang
was
ako sa
there.
bahay nun, eh.
I was watching the videos on social media and I was pretty surprised. Sabi ko, nung una akala ko ito sa setup. You guys programmed it, 'di ba? It was part of the schedule and all
No,
that.
everything was ad hoc and impromptu. Buti I bumped into Olson nung he was in SMX nun. Tapos naghahanap siya ng magbibigay ng ticket, ayaw bumili.
Ay,
Binigyan ko na lang.
hindi talaga bumibili ng ticket yun.
Oo nga, eh.
Oo nga, no?
Hindi, joke lang, joke lang. Ah, so may kausap siya, ta's tinapik ko pa nga, eh. Ayun.
But
So
alam mo, Alvin, we were talking about the coverages for the media. No? This is
yes.
something, I'm going to go into this na now. No?
Yes,
It
yes.
was
Sure, sure, sure.
something all over social media.
Mhm.
Yung, but I was one of those who experienced it. But apparently, a lot of our media friends are saying na they had a harder time covering the
This year?
launches at the Manila International Auto Show this year. Mostly because
Mm.
mostly because of the hindi dahil sa Miyas eh, dahil dun sa production team ng mga car brands.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw some of our colleagues posted nga something about Gimbal Boys, tama ba?
oo, oo,
Gimbal
Gimbal
Boys,
Boys.
tama
Production
ba? They
production
call them the Gimbal Boys, tama ba?
Oo,
They call them
oo.
the Gimbal Boys. Yes, yes, yes.
Ah,
And some of the production team na nung araw kasi when palagi ka pa namin kasama sa floor, 'di ba nung mga panahon na 'yon, naman na bawal yung mga production crew sa harap ng media pag nangyayari yung event. This time, medyo
sila yung
tinu
priority.
tinutulak pa kami palayo. They
What?
were
Wow,
shoving us. Yeah, yeah. Ako personally, I had one experience in one
grabe
of the
naman.
car companies, and
Oo,
and then our friends in the media were complaining because how can you get proper pictures? How can you
yeah,
get proper good visuals when
true, true.
sangkatutak yung nakaharang sa harap mo?
In
And I'm
yeah,
not saying it's the Manila International Auto Show fault because apparently, sabi nga ni Anjo, hindi na kasi focus nung mga car manufacturers yung media. Ang focus na nila is yung crowd.
mm,
So during media day, we kinda noticed for this year particularly, we
mm.
kinda had a hard time getting our photos, getting our shots in place, and parang to be honest, Alvin, that's why I asked kanina yung dress rehearsal. Parang
Mhm.
hindi sila sync. May
Ah,
event, tumatakbo yung event at dito sa booth na to, a
mhm.
booth or two away, nagsa-sound check with music
Ah,
blasting yung
that should
kabilang.
not happen actually. That should not
Yes,
happen.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Di ba? I know,
Was it, hmm,
I know in the past, alam ko
there was
inaano
courtesy
niyo
eh.
yun eh.
There was
Pinahihinto niyo yun
courtesy.
eh. Oo
There
eh.
was courtesy dapat. And,
Oo.
and it's not only courtesy actually, it's a guideline. And they were
Yeah.
told not to do anything. Um, well, probably the set, if you notice, some of the booths are more complex than the usual
Yes.
design. So maybe they had a lesser time to set up the equipment because of the booth construction setup took some of their time. Um, I have no. That's my guess. That's my guess. I have no basis to say that. Um, we actually that's part of our focus group post event.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember Anjo a couple of years back. He was saying, "Why don't we have a special corner that the media can just stand on and have sort of a barricade because there was no physical barricade anymore. Eh.
Wala
Um,
na, wala na.
it's like
Unlike before.
there's
I
a
remember
line,
there was
people
a
just
year. I
yeah.
remember there
So
was a year, Alvin. I
yeah,
think this
we
was in
had some
2018 or
uh,
2017
there were
when
stanchions, no?
no, may stanchions
But
for the media talaga to
but
be in.
oh,
Tapos dun
the
gagawin sa harap
stanchions,
ng yung
oh,
stanchions na yun, yung presentation. This year kasi, to be honest, we were standing there, we were positioning ourselves. Tapos nung magsimula yung launch, wala sa harap namin yung presentation. It was in another
tapos oo,
part of the booth and
ah,
we were like,
parang wala X marks the spot, no?
oh, we were like totally confused. So,
Parang
teka,
ano,
saan ako kukuha ng
para tayong nasa
litrato?
airport. Alam mo yung airport conveyor?
Yeah.
Huhulaan mo kung saan ka puposisyon, eh. Tapos lahat ng
Di ba?
tao
Di ba?
nakatapak diyan dun sa yellow line, 'di ba?
Di ba? Di ba?
Kauna-unaan, eh. Tapos yung
Tama.
pinakaano, yung bag ng pinakahuling lalabas, yun yung nasa yun sa harap,
Yung nasa
humahawi.
harap. Di
Humahawi
ba?
pa ng tao. Ta's akala niya lahat ng bag nadadaan sa kanya. Ayun,
Oo. I-inspectionin niya.
sisikuhin ka
Bubunutin
pa,
niya
eh,
lahat.
oo. Abutan yun, 'di ba 'pag tayo grupo tayo mag-travel, 'di ba?
Yeah, yeah,
Yun.
yeah. That's true. That's true. Pero yun nga, no? We were kinda,
But that's
and
true,
you know,
it sounds funny, but, it can be very irritating if you are trying to capture a certain shot tapos, um, and then that happens to you and then you lost the chance na.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
it's something we need to discuss with the brands, and there will be some changes. Hopefully, we can smoothly implement them next time moving forward. We did see some chatter um, on the social media, pero I wasn't really able to monitor a lot. I saw a few, but I'd like to get back with it in the next few days. Um, I I took a vacation last couple of days, eh, so
I think you needed
quiet
one.
muna, yeah, oo.
I think you needed one with all the
Yeah,
stress and all the no, and especially your condition. We all know that hindi mo na kaya yung ganong katinding stress that
oo.
we've been giving you in the last year, in the first
No, no,
2 years of
there's no stress naman,
yeah,
oo. It's
'di
always
ba?
fun doing it. Hindi naman stressful, ayun. Si
But
'Pag may problema naman, sinasabi ko kay Jason, "Ikaw na bahala." So, hindi siya yung na-stress, hindi ako. Yun.
but you know one thing we noticed? One thing we noticed was the SMX exhibit was an excellent idea. I was telling si Attorney Consunji, si Neil, si Egay, when I was at SMX, we saw each other, nakita tayo doon, di ba?
Mhm.
Nagkwentuhan pa tayo doon. Ang napansin ko, napakaraming galing ng Mall of Asia at saka ng
Hmm,
IKEA na
mhm,
nagpunta doon sa auto show
mhm.
na they were not really supposed to go there. It's just that
Yeah,
I was saying
marami
kanina,
accidental traffic this year
yeah, I
from
was
that
saying
spot,
kanina,
oo.
gumastos na sila siguro ng mga 6,000, 5,000, 6,000
Hmm,
pesos. A family of 4 spent about 5, 6,000 pesos in
mhm,
either Mo or IKEA. When they saw an auto show at
mhm.
SMX that costs what, 150 pesos per head, another
Tama,
600 pesos to go bring their kids and look at cars.
yeah,
Parang, uy, okay na rin. Gumastos na ako ng
Oh,
6,000
extra
eh.
entertainment, no? Extra
Oo, what
entertainment.
'di ba? What's an additional 600 pesos more to entertain my kids with new cars? It was a pretty good idea. It was a pretty good development. Considering na meron ding shuttle. So hindi
Yes.
sila stuck sa SMX. Kung gusto
Tama,
nilang
tama,
lumipat ng World Trade Center, pwede na rin kasi may ticket na sila
tama,
eh, 'di
tama.
ba?
Yeah, the
I think
shuttle
that's
was
a
a really good
really
idea.
Thank you. Actually, it's not a noble idea. Worldbex has been doing that for I think over 10 years. Kasi their construction show, which actually I'm not involved. I'm involved as an exhibitor there. Um, so I got to observe how they do it. Um, we would not have done this without and as easily as this one without prior experience with the team. Um, the team of Worldbex is able to do that now. They kind of had a system going already with the construction show, but the volume kasi of the construction show is lesser than what we experience in Mia. So we just had to increase the frequency, the number of buses, um, but we applied the same system. Um, and we more or less know the time and motion na, etc., and how to plan it. And of course, we had more help because being an auto show, we have more commercial vehicle partners as well who would want to showcase their cars. As a matter of fact, ano eh, um, there was a van. Um, I believe it was a Starex van ba? One of the executives in one of the venue
oo.
providers, "Uy," sabi ko, "Okey 'to, ah." Next thing we know, that person ordered na from Hyundai, yun.
Oo,
'Di nga ako binigyan ng commission, eh.
dapat meron ka dun, Dapat
Sabi
meron
ko,
ka dapat
"Next time
meron
dapat
kang
hingi
2K
muna
dun,
ako."
Dapat meron kang 2K dun, 2K
2K ba? Uy, sayang yun,
2K 2K yun, okey.
sayang din yun.
'Di ba? Pero I think that is
Kanino?
one of the
Hindi,
reasons
joke lang.
why that is one of the reasons why parang that ang dami nung
Yes,
nasa
oo.
Mias this year. It's because of that overflow from the malls na
Yes.
galing ng Mall of Asia and IKEA. Napansin ko rin and I think that's the reason why iniisip ko galing ng Mall of Asia and IKEA yon was ang daming bata. For this year,
Hmm,
there were a lot more kids,
ihalata
roaming
mo,
around,
oo.
'di
Ihalata mo
ba?
mall goers, eh, 'no?
Oo, oo. So, parang feeling ko mall goers talaga 'yun kasi
Kaya
bitbit nila 'yung mga anak nila, eh. 'Di ba?
yes.
In the past auto shows, mag-girlfriend, mag-asawa, but very, very seldom na may dalang, little kids dun sa
Pero
auto show.
pero Mia's is a family buying experience, in the last few years. Napansin namin ano rin, it's not the breadwinner anymore who makes the absolute decision to choose a
Mhm,
car. They let the
mhm,
kids try it out. They let the kids, do their, sit at the back to see if it's spacious. They're part of the decision-making process na rin.
mhm,
So,
mhm, mhm,
um in the last maybe close to 5 years to a decade or so, pansin namin the buying pattern has shifted to family experience. That's why, just add to that, no, if you notice, the models are, uh, dressed in cocktail dresses. You don't see too
hindi na
many
'yung
revealing ano,
oo,
outfits, gano'n.
oo, oo.
So,
We
um,
we
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 want it
kinda
really to be a very wholesome family experience.
mellowed it
And
down.
ano, so yun, but it's true because of our location in SMX, and then SM thankfully allowed us to put a lot of advertising collaterals outside to make sure they know something's going on inside. And it was very well organized. And then people, you see a lot of queue kasi sa waiting line sa shuttle. So
Oo,
syempre they tend to be drawn to crowds, eh. Oh, ano ba nangyari diyan? May suntukan ba? Gano'n.
oo.
So they tend to parang yung suntukan sa Ace Hardware, gano'n. Puwede ko ba sabihin yun? Ayun.
It's hardware,
So,
eh.
siyempre gustong-gusto nila maano, they wanna see blood, 'di ba? So,
Masyado.
ayun, they're
Eh,
curiously drawn
Wilcon
to crowds.
eh,
So,
Wilcon yung
ah
nandun sa dulo tapos naka-Ace Hardware ka.
Yun pala ano 'no, bebentahan pala ng car show ticket. Wala palang suntukan dito, uwi na ako. Ayun, so ayun, but that helped actually, ayun.
It did. It actually did. It actually did. So,
Yeah, no,
yun,
the frequency of the shuttles is pretty good kasi nung Saturday afternoon, nakita ko ang haba nung pila nung shuttle sa SMX pero
Mhm.
the shuttles just kept on arriving
Continuous
and
'no?
they were filling up.
Yes.
Yeah, ang bilis. Medyo
There
naipit
were
lang dun sa malapit sa Rallycross pero yeah,
because of the traffic 'no?
oo.
I was saying ka kanina, yung shuttle from sa SMX was really quick. The lines were short, the ano,
Tama,
but the shuttle from the World Trade Center going back to SMX was really long. It was really,
yeah.
yeah.
I asked the people in charge on that side, I asked them to sort of time the waiting time para kasi we have no even in World Bex in the last 10 years have not experienced a queue that long. So
Mm,
um, what's interesting is the average waiting time, the longest waiting time they say is about 30 minutes. Which is I think still, it's bearable. Kasi if you can imagine, I leave a car in SMX, if time comes, I wanna transfer to World Trade, by the time I walk to the parking lot, pay my ticket, get out, find a parking lot on the other side, and walk to World Trade, lahat yan
mhm.
may time and motion yan, eh. You
Yeah,
probably end up
yeah.
going there with you probably spend an hour or more. Um, so the 30-minute wait seemed to be bearable in that sense.
Well, I was lucky.
I'm just saying
Somebody
that to
advised.
make your viewers feel confident lang siyempre dapat may konting encouragement, eh. Ayun, para hindi naman nila iisipin sayang yung 30 minutes nila, 'di ba?
Uh,
Hindi, but it's
I,
true,
I, I was lucky. Somebody told me to park at SM at the SM parking lot beside SMX.
mm,
So that's where I parked, and life was easier. Life was so much easier when I did that, 'di ba? Because
tama,
alam ko naman yung experience ng looking for a
tama.
parking lot in front of World Trade Center in
World
the
trade,
middle
'no?
of Manila International Auto Show. We've done this for
Tama,
what? This is the 19th eh, pero practically
mm.
kung walang pandemic, this should be the
Pandemic,
21st,
this
no?
year should be the
21st or 22nd.
20th kasi we only skipped 1 year by the way, 2021. Kasi in
2021.
2020, we had a virtual auto show,
Yeah,
though we
yeah.
counted it as an event as well.
Mm.
So, um,
So this should have been the
you
20th.
this should have been the 20th.
Oo.
We
Should have been a
started
land.
in '05.
Oo nga, no? Oo nga.
Yeah. Amazing, 'no?
Amazing. We've been doing this for 20 years, Alvin.
Ah,
Congratulations.
yeah. I started kasi maaga ako nag-start, eh, 10 years old ginagawa na namin 'to, eh. So, 10 ba, 11 gano'n.
Doon na ako papunta eh.
Ilan taon ka
Grade
na,
12 ako
Alvin?
nag-start na ako.
Ilan
Sabi ko,
taon ka na,
gawa kaya
Alvin?
ako auto
28?
show. Grade 5 yata ako nun, eh. Ayun.
Ilan taon ka na, Alvin? 28? 28?
Gawa kaya ako auto
28 ka
show.
na, no?
Kaya sige gawin natin.
So 8 years old ka pa lang, tinitira mo na 'tong
Oo,
Manila
oo.
International Auto Show.
Na-envision na namin, eh. Ayun. You guys know si Joseph was my schoolmate, ah. Although siyempre ibang batch kami. Ah,
Oo,
we
oo.
belong to the same school.
Si Joel, 10 years na ako sa Miyas. Yuhu!
Oh, yun mas bata pa yun, 5 years old pa lang pinapatrabaho na namin yun, eh.
Pinapatrabaho niyo na
Ayun.
daw, inuutusan niyo na 'yan,
Oo,
eh.
magaling yan, magaling yan.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy, he's a good guy. I like him, I like him. There's this comment by Irvin Kennebili. He says, "Hindi ba usually first day is media day? I remember kaya mas masaya pa first days ng Miyas before dahil konti pa tao." Ah, yes, what tinanggal na natin for this year yung media day, no, Alvin, if I remember
Actually, we
correctly.
still call it media day, but the correct term should be, it's a launch day for all the brands.
It's a launch
We
day.
as a we also call it casually as media day because that's the day everybody covers the event.
Mhm.
But we never actually had an exclusive media day, unlike other international auto shows, primarily because of cost. Um, if
I know.
we want the cost of the staging an auto show to be as affordable to the brands, especially to the new brands coming in. The bigger brands, of course, they can afford an extra day, but in the interest of making it more affordable, especially to the new entrants, um, we cannot seem to be able to get past an exclusive media. We could have done it Wednesday and then Sunday yung preparation time starting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
but obviously the cost would increase. Um, and maybe it's something we can start thinking of na in the years to come. Um, change things a bit kasi the market has grown na. When we started doing Mia's, our first crowd count was only less than 60,000, I believe.
Yes, yes, yes,
50,000 lang yata, ganun.
yes. You now have
So
plus
it's
100,000.
grown
So
almost almost three and a fold, no?
yeah, almost three. Yeah, almost
Oh,
3 times. Almost 3 times.
ma-
Ito,
so yun.
ito,
You're,
meron lang akong question gusto i-post. Pero hindi sa'yo, Alvin, kay Ira,
Ay,
kay
okay.
Neil, and kay Robby Consunji, no? Papipiliin ko lang kayo. Media day o media dinner? Mawawala yung isa. Pili kayo ng isa.
Hmm, alam ko
yeah.
sagot niyan.
Si Ira gusto dalawa eh. Mamili ka ng isa lang.
Mahirap yung tanong mo, ayoko. Mahirap yung tanong mo.
Parang algebra yan.
Mahirap yung tanong. Algebra yan eh. Math yan eh. Math yan eh. 1 minus 1 yan eh. Ayoko yan eh. Di ba? 2 minus 1 yan eh. Math yan eh. Di ba? No, actually, hindi, wala namang media dinner noon eh. This year nga lang. Special nga yung media
Actually,
dinner ni Alvin this year eh. This year was a
we used to do
special
that
media dinner.
post-event eh, di ba? Ayun,
Yeah.
and sometimes pag nagkatamaran, wala nang iyan. Ayun,
Wala na
pero
eh. Di
we
ba?
No,
weren't
we,
able to faithfully do it every year actually to be ano
it's actually a
to be very about it.
media lunch, Alvin. Lunchtime tayo previously.
That
Ah,
Diba?
yeah,
lahat.
that
Ngayon lang naging dinner.
Lahat.
that one
Di
we
ba?
usually do that. We usually do that.
Yeah.
Oh, sabi ni
Us-
Randolph, ano daw, exclusive media day daw. We'll
oh,
probably run a survey post-event. We usually do surveys naman with the brands and to see how we can improve things for the following year. Um, but in our experience, kasi siyempre when you say, they'll say yes, of course, but assuming there's no increase in cost. But if you present the numbers na, the answer tends to skew towards maybe status quo. Ayun. Um, but of course, tayo, we'd love to, but of course, if we can afford it, why not? Uh, End of the day, it's really a function of cost. And as much as we want to be like our um, cousins overseas who do these things also, um, the cost is a bit prohibitive here. Um, so yun. Going back to lunch, we always do lunch naman ever since day one.
Oo naman.
That's ano naman, that's SOP. Um,
Mm.
but this year, we also noticed that because we have 30 brands to launch this year, and we have two venues to do it almost simultaneously. We try to minimize the overlap as much as possible as well. But we we stuck to the 15-minute time gap and 15-minute presentation time. It almost went like clockwork. But unfortunately, two things we observed. Um, halos nawala yung lunchtime. So, although the catering was there, um, if you are one or two lang from your publication covering it, you'll have a hard time. You have to choose between lunch or the lunch.
I
Oo
So,
forgot to have lunch.
yung
eh.
lunch
Yung
or
lunch
lunch,
na,
no? So,
oh, di
pili
ba?
ka
Di
kung
ba
may
yung
letter A o
Lunch
wala.
or
So,
lunch.
so um,
you'll go get the presentation instead. Nagtatrabaho ka
oo,
eh, di
oo,
ba?
tama,
Baka hanapin sa'yo ng editor mo yun eh. Di
tama.
ba? So, iiwan mo talaga
But the
yung...
media dinner, yeah, was a noble idea.
It was.
Two things. Oh, kasi we well, first of all, kasi there are more dining options in SMX. World Trade,
Yes.
kasi if we do a dining situation there, the only place we can do is Legend, but it's really a long walk pa rin eh. If you remember, sometimes dinner tayo, Legend, gano'n. Minsan nga yung
Ang
iba
layo ng
nagpapatik pa ng
legend eh.
kotse, oo,
Oo
or
eh.
nagsha-shuttle pa tayo. Eh,
Oo.
with that restaurant we chose, uh, which is actually not the nearest one, but it was the newest one. Um, and we felt na that's the only place we can do a sort of a laureate situation that can be intimate. I went around kasi a month before to see kung anong venue pinaka-okay. Some venues can only house as much as 3, 4 tables lang at most, especially sa S. Mason side. Pag
Yeah.
hotel naman kasi, it sounds like Conrad is very close, but it's a labyrinth of tunnels you have to go through. And if you count the number of steps, medyo mahaba din. So we chose that venue, the new Chinese restaurant at the corner. Sabi ko, doon na lang kasi pinakamadali. It's a landmark. The name is a landmark already, and the food's great. So I hope you guys enjoyed there.
Oh,
Um,
we had
so,
great time with the
okay
food.
naman, no?
Really.
Ayun,
Yeah,
so
sarap, sarap.
because everybody enjoy, I'm sure we'll do it another time.
Yun.
Siguro Mia's 2035 o 2036 ulitin natin.
Kasalanan mo 'to, Egay, eh. Okay na, eh, may dinner na, eh.
Hindi,
Kasalanan
pero
mo 'to, Egay, eh.
kilala ko yan si Alvin. Alvin, bago ka pumasok kanina, I was telling them, no? It's the first time that you did Mia's sa dalawang venue, di ba?
Yes, for me, yes.
So, syempre, first time mo yan. Sabi ko, confident ako by next year, kung 2 venues pa rin, may improve na ni Alvin yan. Diba? Anyway,
Thank you, thank
ito
you.
pa isa kong gustong
We try to,
sabihin. Si Alvin, kilala ko yan, may kusa yan.
Oh, yan na naman tayo
Next
sa may
time, ang
kusa.
post-Mias natin, 3 days, 2 nights out of town na.
Pwede.
Lahat ng kinita ni Alvin napunta sa atin.
Oh,
Ganyan kabait yan si
dito
Alvin.
na ito. Pwede. Tayong dalawa lang. Huwag na natin sali sa Ira.
3 days, 2 nights, hahagis tayo sa Manila Bay.
Hindi.
Okay lang,
Pero
reclaim na eh.
Reclaim na, oo.
Oo, di ba?
It also, I can't remember who suggested it. I think it was Mark Desales. Sabi niya, every time pala kasi he's an exhibitor also through AAP. He would check in 1 or 2 nights before during the preparation time. Sabi niya, okay yun So I checked in actually last weekend there. Para at least, matutulog ka, ganun. Madali lang, hindi ka na magko-commute. Thinking, sabi ko, uy, baka pwede ako coffee man lang, may overlooking the bay, ganyan. Alam mo, may bonus ako nakuha doon, nag-breakfast ako doon sa
Taal.
balcony nila. Nakita ko, nandito, ang lapit lang pala taal dito, Ang ganda, Tapos paglingon ko, nandiyan na yung Skyran. Sabi ko, galing, bonus. Ayan. Some of you may have seen the social media. And then, kinumpare ko nga sa Scala. Sabi ko, Botsi, mas maganda talo na kayo ng Conrad. Maganda view dun. Pero iba pa rin ang orig, syempre.
Yeah. Ganda pa rin.
But yeah,
Galing ka na today.
You
came from there today.
Very unfortunate lang. Maybe in a year or so, mawawala na yung Bayside doon. Ayan.
Oo nga, I think
naaprobahan
naaprobahan na yung reclamation dun sa Bayside area sa may MOA. So
tuloy na ulit, no? Kasi there was a time pinasuspend ni BBM yun, no?
I think it's still suspended.
Still, okay.
Yeah, wala namang pero puro tambak ng buhangin, no?
Hindi natuloy kasi may mga kausap pa rin ako dun sa project na yun ng SM project yun eh. Yung
I see.
Yung SM project for reclamation sa tapat ng MOA. Hanggang ngayon meron pa rin campaign to have it reinstated, to have the program reinstated. So suspended pa rin yun.
So medyo na yung timetable nila, no?
Wala pang timetable. So we can probably still enjoy another seaside view dun sa SMX susunod na
kaya pala wala masyadong tao dun sa may konti lang. May isa dyan nagsisigal lang ng siguro nagluluto ng kanin dun sa buhangin. Sabi ko, may usok pa May usok pa yung taal, galing. Yung pala may nagsisigal lang ng kanin dun.
Diba? Anyway, Alvin, thank you very much. Thank you very much for sparing time. I know you came all
thank
the
you.
way
Thank you
from
for
what?
having us. Oh,
Oh,
hello,
good.
Caroline. Caroline na naman, oh. Nandyan.
Oh,
Yun.
Caroline na naman, di ba? I know you came all the way from Escala and then went to the airport to bring
Yeah.
Rush Swift there and then went
Yun,
home.
naawa kasi ako eh. Kasi walang grab
Sana
ako ka.
pinapag-grab mo na lang para hindi ka nahirapan.
Nung
Tapos
kinalko ko, mahal din eh. Mahal din. Sabi ko, ako na lang. Gasolina lang babayaran ko. Saka to.
mas mura ba ano? Mas mura ba
Mura
ihatid?
oo. Oo. 3,000 hinihingi sa akin ng grab eh.
Naku,
Yun.
Diyos ko. Pagalitan natin
Hindi,
ng
joke
grab.
lang, joke lang. Mura maningil ang grab.
And then you have to go back. And we know the travel from the airport. Before you came, we were talking about traffic with Attorney Consunji. And we know you coming from the airport all the way back to Quezon City is not very, very pretty.
It's I was surprised from Escala, kasi we were timing it kasi we had to catch a flight. Took us maybe an hour and 45 minutes lang from Escala to Terminal 3. But Waze took me to the back roads. I went to the east-west bypass, went out to yung Maliksi, the bypass there. Ended up I didn't even go to I ended up in Cavitex na. And
so you
then,
okay.
no, that's what, it wasn't bad. And considering we left 4:30, 4:30 ba or almost 5. That was the time people started coming home na. It wasn't so bad. And
You made
then, from
Nag-speeding
Skyway
ka
to,
niyan.
nag-speeding ka.
oo nga, I
Skyway.
think I should take back that statement pala. Hindi. No, speed was good. Speed was good. Eh, nandiyan nandiyan yung speed police sa tabi ko eh. "Oh, overspeeding ka na, bagalan mo." Yun.
Magalo. You took the Skyway from airport
Nandiyan
to
si
Quezon
Arlene sa
City.
tabi ko eh, kaya ano,
Kaya
kaya
pala
sa bisita,
Skyway
kaya naka-Tagalog. Tinagalog pa niya eh, kasi nahiya siya sa bisita eh. Ayun. But seriously, the traffic was good. And then from Quezon City, from airport to Quezon City, it's the usual. Yun. On the way here, nung nag-text ka, nandun ako sa Banawe, bumibili ng Maki eh. Kasi walang luto sa bahay. Tingin kaya tayo ng Maki sa Maki House. Yun.
Sarap
Sarap
yata
naman.
doon Alam ko yun
May nakita
Kumakain
ka
ako
akong mga
doon.
familiar faces dun eh. Yung mga kabarkada ni Uzi. Yun.
Diba?
Sabi ko, kilala ko
Andon?
Nasa Mias yun to Gumagala sa
Andun
Mias,
yung
namamasyal.
andun
Namamasyal
yung
lang naman
tatlo?
sa Mias.
Andun yung
Ayun.
tatlo?
Ewan
Yung
oo.
kasama natin sa
I think
dinner?
namamasyal lang naman. Ewan ko kung anong ginawa nung day 1. Sabi ko, umaabot pala
Umab
dito yung mga taga Banawe dito.
Umamasyal
Namamasyal
lang
lang
sa
naman
Banawe
sa
pa.
Mias. Ayun.
Parang kinabahan ako kay Uzi doon Yung mga boss na sa Banawe
Alvin,
na mamamasyal.
Alvin, hintayin namin yung mami ha. Tinext ko na sa yung address
Okay.
ko.
Paki-text lang, oo.
Sige,
May post mo na dito,
pag-grab mo na
lahat
lang.
ng mag-text. Bigyan natin yung mami.
Pag-grab mo na lang yung mami.
Yeah.
Hindi, joke lang.
Anyway, thank
Pero
you.
yung sa'yo,
Thank
hindi
you,
joke.
Alvin.
Yung sa'yo, hindi joke.
Thank you
Alvin,
for the time.
congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Congrats,
Thank you so
Alvin.
much for having us.
Congratulations.
And,
Congratulations.
thank you.
And
Thank you.
next year ulit. Diba?
Thank
Attorney
you.
Consunji, maraming salamat sa insights mo sa
Thank
traffic.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Attorney
guys.
Robby.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you for giving us your time every time we give you a call. Kahit walang
Anytime.
kwenta usapan natin. Diba?
Next time, let's talk about LRCP. No holds barred.
Bakit may issue ba?
Walang content.
May issue ba sa LRCP? May issue ba sa LRCP?
Wala. Baka LTFRB.
Titigil na natin yon. May level pa ako. Tama na yan. Okay. Wag na nating apakan yan. Mahirap. Inaayos na eh. Mediation na eh. Mediation.
Ayos na ba?
Tama
Ayos na ba?
mediation.
Dapat i-celebrate yan. Kumain tayo.
Di ba? Hindi pa.
Hindi pa ayos.
Di ba? Tama na muna. Wag na muna magulo. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you,
Thank you.
Attorney
Thank you for
Consunji.
having us. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Congrats,
See you guys
Alvin.
soon.
Thank you,
See you guys
everybody.
soon.
All right. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you for watching. Ito na
Thank
naman
you.
kami sa makulit na episode namin ng Kalye-Tok na sana may natutunan kayo at sana ay palagi namin kayong kasama every Wednesday. Dito pa rin po sa ating Kalye-Tok. by Autocar. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you, Attorney Consunji. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.